Welcome.
Done?
Yes.
Yeah.
Go
Because
home.
I'm done. That's the show, right? Because
Yeah,
I
it's the
can't
show.
after that.
Yeah, let's wrap. We're done.
So welcome to episode 1 of Star Trek Vasquez. For those of you who did not watch episode 0, it's not out on YouTube yet. I'm going to try to edit a little bit more before I push it out there. But
literally
the crew,
nobody has watched it.
so no one has watched it. But in case you're watching this on YouTube and you haven't seen episode 0 yet, that's the key. Or you haven't listened, if you've listened to the podcast and you haven't listened to it yet. I'll give you guys a little bit of a backstory. The Vasquez is a New Orleans class vessel. The New Orleans class is being built to replace the Miranda class, the aging Miranda class. And it's built using a lot of the technology developed from the Galaxy class starship program, including the Nova, I believe. Not the Nova. It was the other one that kind of looks like a Galaxy class, but has little...
Nebula?
The Nebula class, yeah. The Nebula and the New Orleans class were built around the same time using the same technology. So the New Orleans has been being built all throughout this decade, and this one is, or the previous decade, and this is the latest New Orleans class to come off the line. It is being commanded by Captain Sakir, and their orders were to go to Narandra Station, which is a starbase on the border with the Shackleton Expanse in the Beta Quadrant. Their job there is to work with the Klingons and the Federation crews there to explore the Expanse and learn a little bit more about that. There's only about like 6% of the entire Expanse has been mapped yet, so there's a lot to be had. The last adventure, they were on their way and they had a distress call, and they left to go deal with that distress call, which is a Klingon ship which had drifted into the neutral zone in Romulan space, or into the Romulan neutral zone. And there's some intrigue, some stuff going on they didn't quite understand, but they were able to rescue the Klingon vessel, and both them and the Klingon vessel sped off back to Narandra Station. So, where we're going to begin, the crew is pulled into dock, and you have several days to get acquainted because the ship is getting a refit. The ship is getting refitted with upgraded sensors and some boosted weapons. Nothing serious, but there had been reports of strange electromagnetic anomalies throughout the Expanse, which is one of the reasons why there's not been a huge amount of exploration of it. So the sensors are designed to kind of counteract that and try to get through some of the nebula, since there's lots of nebulas in this Expanse as well, which play havoc on sensors and communications. So, for about 2 weeks or so, the ship has been under refit at the station to try to kind of counteract a lot of those issues. So you guys have had a lot of time. I'll start with Captain Sakir. In this time, Captain Sakir, what will you have been doing?
Well, after our excursion with the Klingon vessel and our redocking with Station 364, I would, I guess I would be in my quarters meditating for the next mission.
Okay, so you had not leaving, just kind of staying in your quarters.
Indeed, preparing myself for the next mission.
Ba'ash, this station is 60% Klingon, so it has got a large amount of Klingons aboard this station. It's a joint Federation Klingon Empire station. So, what would you be doing in this time period between these next 2 weeks?
Bartender, blood wine.
There's a Bolian who's a bartender at the local bar that everyone goes to. It's called the Hot Spot. It's very popular with the local Klingons because they have the best blood wine, and they actually serve gach, like good gach, as it so.
Is it live?
Yes, of course, fresh.
Of course.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's called gach?
No, live.
I know, but dead gach is the same as cold. Anyways, you get a lot of questions, a lot of curious looks while you're in the bar. You have to explain yourself a lot because they're like, "Why are you in a Federation uniform?" Because you are.
Did you get in many fights?
Yeah, not. I wouldn't. It depends. I don't think she would be challenged a lot. But there are more than a few people who steer clear of her, because of the Federation, stuff. Let's see. Cole, what are you doing?
So, Cole is going to be splitting his time pretty evenly between overseeing the refit, because he's been with this ship since it was just a space frame, and he has no interest in letting other people mess it up, working on his pet project, Runabout, and taking advantage of the fact that we're on a station to go for jogs not on the holodeck. So he's staying fit. He is getting his cardio out, running the decks of Narendra Station.
Okay.
Humans like running.
Give me a. Let me pull this up real quick.
Are we doing a roll already?
I'm gonna have him do a roll because he's gonna be tinkering with his runabout and stuff like that. So first roll of the game. Let me see your sheet. Give me a reason engineering check.
All right. Reason engineering. Task roll 2.
Task roll 2. Focus use, yes, because you're going to be working with your ship. This is your baby, your runabout and such.
Specifically, this is the Husik, our third runabout, which spends most of its time not quite flight ready because I'm always tinkering.
He's always adding a little bit more.
It's the project car.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. All right, and roll.
2 successes. So, you actually find yourself getting a lot more work done on the Husik than you anticipated. Getting a little bit more help from some of the engineers who are off because Jensen or Weathers is pop in during their leave, every so often and help you out with the warp manifold or the impulse engines or the scanners or that kind of stuff. So.
Yep, I am paying particular attention to the sensors since that's what we're working on the Vasquez. I don't necessarily have the sensor package that they're installing, but I'm gonna take
hints
from that to tweak the runabout sensors a little bit.
Okay, so I'll make a note of that for the future. Now, how is Terzi? What are you up to?
Okay, well, there is the thing that I had already discussed with you. So I get off, go into the station for a day, and come back.
Yeah.
And then back on the ship, I will spend most of my time while we're here in my quarters reviewing the logs from the recent battles.
Okay. Now give me give me an insight and security check for this one.
Do any of my focuses apply to this?
Yes, and yes, you would have a focus.
Okay. So, complication?
No complication range, but task roll would be 2. Three successes. Nice. So you add 1 to the momentum pool. You have 1 momentum.
Yay!
Now you can spend that momentum. What I'm about to tell you is you review the logs, and one of the things that we find very, very specifically odd is that there was that escape pod that ejected from the Klingon vessel just as it was leaving, just as the Romulan warbird showed up. So, and it was destroyed by the Romulan warbird, and you had a suspicion about what was really going on. And you do this, you checking through the sensor logs and everything else like that. You realize there was just a hint of a buildup that looks like a transporter beam that happened right before the pod was destroyed. And based off of it was chaotic, so there's a lot of other things going on, but based off of that you can tell, the life signs in that pod were Klingon. So That's based off the sensors that you see.
Ooh. That's interesting. Okay. There any information I can review to see where that might have transported to?
From the looks of things, from that success, it's likely a Romulan transporter.
Okay.
So either to the ship that was decloaked and firing, or possibly a cloaked ship some nearby, or something like that.
Okay.
And lastly, we're going to talk to Lieutenant Anarin. What is Lieutenant Anarin doing during this downtime?
Righty. I haven't actually been very sociable with the rest of the crew, or less with the bridge crew. I've actually been doing a lot of drinking in one of the bars on the station with a particular person who is the requisitions officer on the station, because I heard that they have in their possession a particular piece of tech that I've been trying to get my hands on. And right now, should we do this like
we can do a role play it.
Nobody knows?
We can role play it. You're talking about
role play it, or yeah, if any I can, we can just go there, or people can be wondering where I am and go look for me or something like that.
Are you talking about? Well, you're off duty. Like
I'm on the ship right now. Yeah. Okay. Sure. All right. Okay. So
you have about 2 weeks
in one of the science labs in on the ship.
Okay.
And if anybody was to walk in, they would see me in complete darkness, but with my left arm at the side, with the prosthetic arm detached, and in front of me, and really weirdly, a robotic dog peering down at it, and me just tinkering inside with the thing. So I'm trying to, I'm tinkering with my prosthetic arm, and I'm installing the piece of tech that I managed to procure from one of the people in the station.
Okay. There's a few people who come by and see it. I mean, most of them are your staff, or people on your staff, and most of them will walk in and be like, "Oh, I'm walking away now." Whatever he's doing, whatever the lieutenant's doing, it's his own business. There's a couple of civilians who come in and ask you.
You can tell that my left arm is amputated somewhere below the elbow, and there's like a piece of tech attached to it with blinking LEDs. That's apparently where the arm attaches to the nervous system. But right now, just not doing anything with it and just tinkering.
There's a couple civilian scientists who are on board who come by and watch you work. They know what you're doing, but at least one of your crew comes in and offers to help a Vulcan who says, "Sir, are you of any assistance?"
No. But as soon as somebody approaches me, the dog, the robot dog, just looks at them. Like with this sort of protective pose, and I just go smack it, and I would tell it, "What did I tell you about looking other way? Back down." So the dog just points back at the arm at the arm, and you can see like this optical elements on its head, just moving and rotating. So yeah.
Okay. So your Vulcan officer comes up, ensign walks up to you and says, "Sir, do you need help?"
I'm fine. This is more like a personal project thing. So, yep.
Alrighty.
Do you need to roll for that, or
no? It's just a nice little flavor there. I will say that he does leave a little pad for you. He says, "This is for your review, sir," and then walks out.
Right.
And on the pad, when you review it, is information on the electromagnetic disturbances that kind of have been reported around the Expanse. So,
all right, I will finish up my arm. I'll put it back together, on, and it's I'm pleased with how it's moving and how it's performing right now. So yeah.
Okay.
And
So-
grab the pad, and am I doing anything with that?
Yeah. Just go ahead and read through that. It's the details are not that great because the sensors aren't. But there are
Yeah.
these electromagnetic eddies that are a kind of a space hazard that are kind of all over the expanse. So,
All right. Are they moving? Are they stationary? Is there something that we need to plot around?
there is little evidence about them. They seem to be moving. But they don't. The speed of which doesn't seem to be known quite yet. They have caused some problems with shipping in the past, but they also don't know if these are the things that have caused the. There have been several transports, freighter convoys, which have disappeared, and they don't know if that is the reason why they've disappeared, or if. There are pirates in the region because there have also been reports of pirates, so they don't know exactly how that works.
All right. Would our new sensors be able to be fine-tuned to pinpoint the movements and locations of these eddies more accurately to give us a bit of a head warning?
Yeah, you
on
can
that?
give me
Cool.
you can give me a reason science for that one to try to tweak the sensors a little bit.
Reason science, and I don't have anything for focus, so just two.
Unless you have an anomaly or spatial anomaly or anything like that. Yep, two successes.
I would
I
like
pressed
to assist
once.
since I'm already working on the sensors anyway.
You're going to offer assistance? Go ahead and roll for assist.
I only rolled once, but I got the same roll both times, so yeah, doesn't matter.
Just one task die for you, HB.
Nope.
Still two successes.
So you just you kind of manage to do it, and Cole shows up and is like I can help you, and like touches one button and all the lights just in your science lab.
That wasn't a failure. It's more that I just was there and didn't help.
Yeah.
just tripping over my dog, basically.
Yeah.
Nothing else.
All right. So
Secretly
after about
admiring your prosthetic arm because I have a focus in cybernetics.
So do I.
so you
And
guys
you would know, since you have a focus cybernetics, this isn't standard Starfleet issue. This is very upgraded.
Yes, but
So-
I respect your privacy.
So 2 weeks pass. About right before you're about to leave, you get a comm from from someone just outside the ship, Baj. And it goes, Commander Baj.
This is Bosch.
Commander, there's a Klingon here to see the captain. Claims his name is Captain Akul.
Where is he?
He's on the docking bay, sir.
I will be there shortly. Barrage out.
Yeah.
Nice.
Nice. So you gotta go down and meet him.
Okay. Bartender, thank you. Here's your pay.
Yeah. Federation credits.
What
Are
are
you
we
gonna
doing
be-
about that? I thought there was no money in Star Trek, but okay.
Go
There's
press
there's
platinum.
there's not, but you know,
Now I have
there's
to-
yes, there is and there isn't. So
And then I head to the docking bay.
okay. So you as you passing through this docking bay, it's bustling. The promenade is filled with all sorts of people. Lots of Klingon warriors are wandering around. Some some Starfleet, but there's lots of civilians. There are Ferengi, there are Bajorans, there are any number of different species. There's even embassies for the various Federation worlds around here. So it's fairly hopping, this place. So as you get to the dock, he kind of clears out a little bit, and there's this kind of nervous looking human security officer, one of your security officers, standing in front of a Klingon who's staring at him, just like dead stare, no blinking, just. And when the security officer sees you, he goes, Commander, this is Captain Akul. And the Klingon turns to you and goes, good face for a first officer aboard a Federation ship. And he comes up to you and grabs your hand and goes, good to meet you, Captain Akul. You and I will be, your ship and I will be fast friends in the days to come. I've come to speak to your captain.
I could take you to him.
Please.
You should just be meditating. He is Vulcan. That's what he does all the time.
I've heard.
Well, Captain Cool, just follow me.
Okay.
And
You
then
take-
I calm the captain first, though. I'm like,
Number 1.
Captain Sakir, Captain Akul is here to see you.
On what grounds?
We are to be working together.
Very
That
well.
thing.
Very well. Bring him to my quarters.
All right. And then, bash out.
You taking him to the captain's quarters?
Yes.
Okay.
But you're gonna have a bruise at the end of the day.
Poof, poof.
These titties is gangsta. They are.
Is that why you have armor on your boob window?
Yeah.
Yes.
So you take him to the captain. In walks this swaggering, big, looks kind of young Klingon warrior who steps in and goes, "Ha ha ha! Captain Sakir, Captain Akul, I've come to talk with you about our mission."
Captain Akul. Very well.
Have you been given your orders yet? I just got them today.
Not yet.
Seems
What
that
are
you and
they?
I.
Pray tell.
Seems you and I are to escort a freighter, some freighters, to a remote station in the expanse. And I wanted to get to know the man who I'm going to possibly shed blood with in battle.
Well, this is he, and hopefully that doesn't come to that. But if it does, you can count on us.
I had a question before we go. What are your thoughts of exploration, Captain?
Exploration. Well, that is why we're here. Exploration is most curious, and
Starfleet likes to explore.
that is correct, number 1. That is
A lot. Almost
correct as well.
dangerously so.
number 1.
It is the one thing I enjoy the Federation about. I enjoy exploring. More than your average Klingon, to say that. But I've always been fascinated with the Federation and your exploration devices. I came also to ask if I could see your sensor readings and your science bays. I'd like to know a little more about this ship before we go off and possibly fight for one another.
Whilst that would normally be the case, sadly, I do not believe even I have clearance to give you such permissions on the Vasquez.
Oh, shame. Maybe some other time then.
Maybe.
Well, I look forward to seeing you, Captain. And he extends his hand.
I cautiously put my hand out as well.
He grabs it violently, like by the wrist, and shakes it.
Like
and
this?
goes, ah, yeah. He goes, ah, and then walks out. Like, let's go. Walks out.
I will just escort him back out of the ship unless Sakir grabs my attention for some reason.
Was there anything else, number 1?
That is all for now, Captain.
Very
I'm going
well.
back to the bar.
You are dismissed.
Thank you. She goes to escort dude
Okay.
guy out.
So
I go back to my medication? Meditation.
medication.
To a
So
Vulcan,
as-
meditation is medication.
Mhm. As you're walking out, Baj, you notice that the Captain Cool is very fascinated. He's looking all around at the various like readouts as he passes by, and he seems very interested in the workings of the ship as he's leaving.
I take note, but I say nothing.
Okay. So if you lead him out, he thanks you. May you die in honorable combat, my Klingon brethren. I will see you on the battlefield. And,
Glory to you and your house.
Yes, glory to you and your house. And then leaves. He walks off the docking bay. About, almost exactly as he leaves the room, by the way, Captain Secure, you get a transmission from the Admiral. It's just a quick message that says, Captain Secure, you're to escort convoy SE-113 to a remote science base in the Expanse. That's one of the reasons why we've been upgrading your sensors. You're going to be working with the Nepal, the IKS Nepal, for this. You'll be escorting exactly how many ships you're escorting. 4 freighters on their way, delivering supplies and personnel to the relay.
Very well, Admiral. You can count on us.
I'm looking forward to it, Admiral.
Secure out.
So, all right. Go ahead. Anybody else want to do anything?
I would like to calm my first commander real quick. And I go, well, number 1. See
this
that
is
you.
Baj.
Number 1. This is Captain Secure. See
Yes,
that
I know.
I'm dying. Okay, go ahead.
See that you put a light security detail around the new sensor array until we depart from the station. It's only a mild suspicion. However, I think it might be necessary, given the nature of our ship's technology.
I was noticing curious eyes earlier from our guest. So, good call, Captain.
That is why you are my XO.
Yep.
Secure out.
All right. And with that, we'll get with the you guys are all brought back to the ship for your first mission in the Expanse, and then we'll cut to Secure with a captain's log.
Captain's log. Stardate 48573.1. After some much-needed shore leave, we have resupplied the ship and spent 2 weeks tweaking our sensor suites for more efficient and effective use while exploring the Shackleton Expanse. Starfleet Command wasted little time in giving us the means to test those refined systems. We've been tasked with shepherding a supply convoy to Array 3-5, one of the Joint Federation Klingon research posts deep within the Expanse.
Excellent. So, as we begin the travel, the Nepal will take the lead, and you guys will be set up in the back, guarding, and most of the ships will be kind of between you two as you're traveling. Quick. So, as you guys are going around, you have some downtime in between, but you can tell that the feeling on the ship is tense. the last kind of actions with Klingons turned into lots of photon torpedoes and phasers firing. So there's still some kind of nervousness about this escort, especially in some place that's as unknown as the Expanse. So some people are excited, other people are kind of a little bit on edge, but there's always this kind of there's this tension that's throughout the ship as you guys are traveling. So in this first little bit, it seems pretty uneventful. Let's start with
we scanning? I'm scanning.
Okay. I was going to say an RN. You go ahead and give me a science and reason check with aid from the ship's sensors, and let me pull up the Vasquez to see what it is.
So is that somebody rolling for the ship, or do I get an extra task roll?
Someone else should roll for the ship.
I have the sheet up.
Okay. Sensors and science.
All right, and reason and science for me then.
Sensors and science. Oh, hey, it's already set. Task roll 1. Go.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to say it's a difficulty 3, so that's perfect. I should have said that beforehand.
Sweet.
But so you guys are able to scan ahead. You don't notice any of the electromagnetic disturbances ahead of you. But you also seem to get some feedback. There's the Expanse is doing a little tweaking. It's messing around with your sensors just a little bit. You have the feeling that without the upgrades to the sensors, this would be impossible to try to register anything in front of you.
Anything we could possibly learn from the feedback that will let us tune the sensors even more, or is that the best we can do for now?
Give me an insight science check for that, so you sort of kind of looking at it.
Insight science and still no focus. Damn it! What terrible sensor!
Unless you've got
operator.
stellar anomalies or something like that.
No. I got quantum mechanics.
Yeah. I'll give you focus for quantum mechanics.
All right, I'll re-roll then.
Okay.
But I got 1 and 1. So do we re-roll or?
Go ahead and re-roll, just in case. But
it's going to be worse now, isn't it?
And I also need a sensor science check from the ship. So
there we go. Same roll.
there you go.
I've been doing 1 and 1. Is something bugged or?
No. So each number, if there's a 0, it's no success.
Yeah,
1
yeah.
is success. Yeah. Thank you. All right. So, you can figure out. Let me pull this up real quickly. You're figuring out that you're registering something weird in this feedback. It doesn't look like electromagnetic. It doesn't look like ion radiation or anything like that. It looks something different. It's opening and closing. It has some when you're starting to do some kind of ionic kind of like interference, you're realizing that they're portals of some kind. Dimensional portals of some kind. At least that's what the computer seems to be registering them as.
Okay.
In the distance, based off of what you can gather, and that's what's the radiation that's coming out is that of those portals is what's causing all those havoc with your sensors.
All right. I will message that to Daxon Cole and see if he has any ideas about what could be done to mitigate those effects, or either the sensors or on the shields, or if it helps.
Good.
I'll take a look into it. I'll need to review the sensor logs before I know for sure, but I'll let you know.
All right, Terzi, you get a encoded message on this travel. You recognize how to unencode it and everything like that, but you got an encoded message that it's essentially just an all clear, continue what you're doing kind of message. So
Okay.
And let's go with Cole. What are you going to be doing?
Primarily, Cole is going to be just at his station in main engineering for the bulk of the day, making sure that none of the weird eddies or anything are having any effect on the ship itself. Specifically, making sure that nothing is affecting the warp drive and might affect the other ships, and keeping an eye on our secret piece of tech that, if we turn it on, could make the ship not as good, to make sure that nothing goes wrong with that.
Yeah. Okay. Commander Baash, what are you doing?
Am I on duty?
During when you're on duty and off duty, if you're off duty, what are you doing? Because this is going to be several days of travel.
Oh, okay.
I am drinking blood wine.
I will join in that, actually.
Okay.
Bartender, blood wine.
It's gosh, what is the name? The one with the antennae.
Andorian.
Andorian, yeah, an Andorian bartender who's very, very good at giving blood wine. He is the best at blood wine. He makes he has his own kind of recipe that he doesn't even replicate it. He brews it himself.
Ooh.
So
Are we in 7 forward for this?
yes,
Nice.
I guess it's not 10 forward. I guess it would be 7 forward, wouldn't it be?
It is 7 forward, yeah.
Yeah. So you guys enjoying each other, enjoying each other's company as you're drinking blood
Getting
wine.
each other, yeah.
I don't know about enjoying. We'll see.
We're having a drinking contest.
Yes, you're having a drinking contest. Okay. Oh, who has
When we are off duty, yes.
Yes. Okay, so people are starting to gather around once they realize you guys are having a drinking contest. They realize they're going to see who can outdrink one another. So it's kind of like you guys are piling around like a table, and everyone's kind of like and nervously, like the tension is kind of being relieved a little bit by you guys trying to like outdrink one another. So first, I'm going to have Commander Baash give me a check, a fitness. Let's go with command. Yeah, fitness command check for this one. No complication range. And I want to say because you're a Klingon, you have some sort of
A focus.
Bonuses to these kind of things.
Yeah, it would be, yeah. Especially if
Well,
it's blood wine, she's
I
used to
actually
it.
do have Braklul, which is various physiological tendencies, mean wounds that would otherwise kill humanoid species. Don't affect Klingons as badly. So the character gains +2 resistance against a non-lethal attack, but I guess a +2 resistance.
This would count. So a +2
alcohol.
resistance. So how am I going to do this? All right, let's do it like this. Go ahead.
Applied as a focus.
Applied as a focus, yeah, and no
Okay.
complication. I think you have a 3 complication right now. Go ahead.
Before she rolls, Cole is standing by, like, organizing bets for people to like take other people's shifts so they get more leave.
Yeah.
You're being the bookie right now.
Nagata, the ship's doctor, is like, man, this is so barbaric. He walks up to you, Commander, and goes, Commander, don't hurt him too much. He's still young. And then looks at you. Why I keep forgetting your last name? Nara. And he goes, Lieutenant, don't fuck this up. Don't fuck this up.
No promises.
Okay, so give me first off, because you're the commander of Bosch, you're going to give the first drink, and we're going to see how well this goes. Okay. So now give me give me an opposed check there. We'll do best out of 3 for this one. Opposed check there, Anaran. Give me another one. Same thing.
Fitness command.
Yeah.
No focus and
No
complication.
focus. No complication.
No complication.
Not for the first one. This is the first drink. 2 successes. Ooh. So like you like sling back.
Strong.
You sling back a little bit, but you like hesitate. You're like, but then like catch yourself a little bit there, Commander Bosch. But like Anaran just like picks it up and looks at you like dead in the eye and just look, boom, puts it down with his like with his like his hand, his cybernetic hand. It just shakes the table as he does it. And the crowd goes like, yeah, and like more people are like, oh shit, did I back the wrong person this one?
Meanwhile, Cole's like buddying up with somebody like, I told you he had a hollow compartment in that arm.
I should be drinking with my left one then, I guess.
That's a hollow leg joke. That's
Yeah.
Go ahead and give me another check there, Bosch.
To be clear, Cole is betting on Anarin, and if he loses, he has to take Jensen's graveyard shift next week.
All right, go ahead and give me another check there.
Any complication now?
One complication.
One complication.
Two complication range. Two complication.
Two complication. Okay. Because all right.
If you critically fail, you lose. You lose.
Ooh.
So you just starting strong, and Baaj kind of
way
like
too
takes it a little
confident
more
with the
seriously.
first one.
Yeah, a little seriously, and goes glug 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 glug, and then as she like finishes, she throws it back, and then like throws her whole body forward and like slams the cup on the table and just gives it like the ah.
I'll do it for you.
Yeah. Yeah, like staring at you. You do the same. You try to like respond, like, yeah, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this, and you drink back, bloop, 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 and then like something catches in your throat, and as you're feeling, you're just like, it just blood wine splays all over the commander's face, as you just like, you just cough, and everyone who is betting on the commander is like, yes, and a lot of people are like, God damn it, as they kind of like walk away. You said you bet Jensen, right? Or Weathers?
It's Jensen's graveyard shift.
Yeah, so Jensen walks up to you. He walks up to you and goes, I'm going to enjoy the sleep. Sorry, Chief, but them's the breaks.
That is my line. But anyway. All right, enjoy the extra night off.
Would Captain Sakir have envisioned, have watched this barbarity going on?
He would have not. Sakir is more of a all work no play sort of Vulcan. He leaves his exo to deal with these matters, and it seems she's doing it very well.
So what is Sakir doing during this? Is he just kind of staying in his ready room and it's like staying on shift all the time?
Yes.
Okay. So if you're not taking the shifts off, Nagata will show up after the first like shift you missed, and he goes, Captain, we've had this conversation before, man. You have to sleep. I know you're Vulcan, but you're still, living. You need time to rest, even to meditate. You can't be on call all the time.
I am well aware, Lieutenant.
Shut up, hippie.
You're not there, Bosch.
I'm everywhere.
I am well aware, Lieutenant, and I appreciate your candor and your care for my well-being, but rest assured, I know what I'm doing. You're dismissed, Lieutenant.
Just come with me, man. At one point, we can do some Vulcan medication together. Just get out once in a while, just for a few hours. The ship's not going to fly apart. The commando's got this. And then he walks out. It's just kind of his last thing before he leaves.
I raise an eyebrow at him, and I get back to my review. I'm essentially what I'm doing right now is I'm reviewing everything that's happened in our mission 0, just the battle and everything that happened, and I assume that I don't know if my officers have thought it was important enough, but the stuff that they have sent to me, I'm basically reviewing and making sure that I'm aware of the everything that went down, because I was on the bridge most of the time.
Yeah. Terzi, did you send your information to the captain as well? The information you found?
No.
Okay. So you were able to give me an insight command for that one.
An insight command. So insight and command. And what difficulty is this? So it does not matter.
Task roll 2, and the complication range is 1. Let me look at your.
What is this I'm rolling for exactly?
You're reviewing the after action reports and the debriefing and everything else like that, looking through some of the sensor logs.
Roll for red tape.
Right. Well, rolling for red tape, I do have Starfleet Protocol as a focus.
Yeah. So you can.
I also have. Okay.
I see team dynamics and persuasion and negotiation. So yeah, you'd have a pretty good job with that one. So very
well. Rolling. 2 successes.
right, give me a. Someone else give me a ship command. Give a computer command for that to assist from Meyer. He's using the computer so he can review stuff.
I'll do that because it's more of a science thingy thing. So you said computer and
command.
Computer
pressure
and
task roll would be 1.
Computer and command. Task roll 1. All right. Didn't it go through?
Perfect. So you got another little bit of momentum. So you guys want to use that. This is still the same scene. So what you have found with your after-action reports is something that is strange. You find out that Nagata's report talking about a murder, the captain was murdered. You also know the sensor logs as well as the reports of a escape pod being shot out and being destroyed. And you also find out about the systems being kind of mostly minorly damaged on the Klingon ship from the engineering teams, as well as the computer system being scrambled intentionally by the captain. Those are the things you've learned from the after-action report from your last mission.
Most curious. Okay,
it seems all kind of odd. I'll give you like that. It doesn't seem, even with your own experience, your understanding of how Klingon ships are run, this doesn't seem like a typical kind of, first officer hates her commander and just decides to fight them kind of thing.
Okay. Well, in that case, I guess I hail my my Klingon representative aboard the ship. Number 1.
Yes, Captain.
I have questions regarding our previous mission to the Romulan neutral zone.
Would you like to meet somewhere?
Please meet me in my ready room.
All right. Yes, sir.
I hope you're fit for discussion.
Yes. Always. Bajao.
Gangsta titties, right? Gangsta titties.
I'm just gonna say you're lucky you don't have this badge on, because like the pins in the back
pins will hurt.
Kind of hurt just sitting there. If you hit it, forget it.
The thing is that like those things are, I think, pretty movie. Oh no, they used metal strips, didn't they? But still, you have like a little like magnet.
It's pins with the little backing, is what it is. I would rather magnetic,
but I mean, I think that the movie props and the props they use in the show were actually magnetic. But I can imagine
it was like magnets on 2 sides.
Yeah, but I can imagine like after like the fourth take of them going like that is gonna like. Because sometimes they really had to like really hit it, and so it's just like sitting there like beating your chest for like a day of shoots. I can imagine that hurt. Yeah.
I mean, I think they also pretty often just went.
Yeah, they just tapped it. I think after a while they realized that the dramatic tap over it would be kind of painful.
Clearly, the only people that actually like slam their chest are the ones with gangsta boobies.
All right, so you're going to his ready room?
Yeah, it takes me a few minutes to get there.
Okay. So after a few minutes, Ba'ash steps into your ready room.
I'm already there and waiting.
Apologies for the delay, Captain. I had to replace my comm badge.
Very well.
That happens a lot.
Number 1.
Yes, sir.
So, I would like to debrief with you the previous mission that we just went on 2 weeks ago.
Koroth.
Indeed.
I go ahead and start sitting down across from him.
Regarding the Koroth, I am familiar with Klingon rituals of command transferal, and of course the captain of that ship was indisposed. However, in your expert Klingon opinion, do you think that anything untoward happened?
The most important thing to consider in such matters is, were the actions of the captain previous to his death honorable or dishonorable?
And by your Klingon opinion, do you think that there was enough information there to glean whether or not it was honorable or dishonor?
Real quick, out of character, Paul.
Mm-hmm.
Was there anything in the logs that suggested the captain was sort of, like, according to Klingon protocol, was doing anything that could be dishonorable? Was there any, like, log according, like, about how he was as a commander?
Nope. It was a really well run Klingon ship. I mean, him and his commander, his first officer, were chosen to run a classified piece of like material, some material. It was classified by the Federation and the Klingons.
And the morale of, like, from reports, like, the morale of his crew was pretty good.
Until the attack, it was great. It was typical Klingon warship kind of, all blood and guts and vigor kind of thing. There was nothing that seemed any out of order.
And are we? And another question: am I aware of the fact that I think one of us found out earlier? There was, like, obviously a Klingon was pulled out of that escape pod.
You're not. There's nothing.
I'm not.
Yeah, the only person who found out was Terzi, and Terzi has not told anybody. So.
Which one? Terzi is drunk.
He's your
right?
chief. Yeah. He's your chief of operations.
Okay. So I'm totally unaware. Okay, I just want to make sure. Yeah, and she just kind of pulls up the report, like, on a pad, real quick, just to kind of, like, look over the bullet points as they're discussing it. And then she says, "It is questionable, Captain."
That is what I feared. There is still very little to go on, so for now, I suggest we keep cautious. I do not want it to come across as being prejudiced against your people, being Klingons and all. However, we must remain vigilant in this because, as you may be aware, tensions are relatively high between our people, well, between the Federation.
As you say that, the just alarms start blaring across the ship, and the ship immediately just goes into red alert, just automatically. Like,
I suppose this is the end of our conversation for now, Captain.
All of you on board the ship, as you two step onto the bridge, you start seeing the person who's in charge. Are you on? I'm not going to say any of you are on duty except for Secure. So the second duty officer is from the called the operations officer. Immediately says, "Sir, the sensor's reading that the Klingon ship has had an explosion on it and has dropped out of warp."
Drop out of warp with them.
As you say that, the ship just violently lurches and the power starts flickering as you hear another explosion. Your ship. And Aaron, you get a report as you're running to the bridge. You get an alert to your like sensor, like your own not whatever channel that alerts you that there was a late that there's a spike in electromagnetic energy that's nearby the ship. Like, it just seems like pop out of nowhere, just showing up.
Okay. I will continue on my way to the bridge.
Okay.
I will open a channel to the on-duty science officer and ask for a report of the sensors.
Okay, so you calm through, and the on-duty science officer says, "Yes, sir."
Status report quickly. What are the sensors saying around us?
An ionic electromagnetic eddy has just appeared off our bow, just suddenly off our bow in the middle of warp, right between us. Sensors showed nothing until it just popped up right on top of us.
Have we dropped out of warp yet? Are we stationary?
Yes, we're there. The
captain, I would know this. I would have heard and felt something. Yeah. Right.
So you're definitely out of warp. By the way, the ship's systems, the on-duty officer says, "Captain, secondary systems are offline. and the ship loses 1 power from its pool. So,
okay. Reroute power from engines.
Okay. I will have him roll for that.
And that should give us another power back, right?
Yeah. Let me get it real quick though.
Or reroute power from auxiliary engines. That way we're not like just, you know.
Well, yeah, he says auxiliary is offline.
Auxiliary is offline.
All auxiliary systems are offline.
Very well. Navigator, chart that ionic electromagnetic eddy. That's a chart hazard.
Mm-hmm.
It's a reason plus con difficulty 3, and it reduces hazard difficulty by 2.
Okay, so
are turbo lifts part of the auxiliary system? Can I make my way to the bridge, or am I stuck on the deck?
There's enough main power for it. The auxiliary systems are mostly just like the backup systems and that kind of stuff.
Okay.
So you're having your con officer chart a system or try to like basically trying to scan the eddy to figure out what's going on. All right, what was that test again?
So it's a chart hazard, and it's reason plus con difficulty 3, and it reduces hazard difficulty by 2 if successful, and it's assisted by ship sensors and con.
Okay. So, and he actually has a focus in astronavigation. Your con officer, who's Ensign Jumo. Well, he said, "Aye, sir," and he will go for it. And he fails, like epically fails.
Oh, twice. Oh, geez.
Twice. 2 complications. So as he tries to scan it, like the sensors just explode. Like he's trying to like kind of chart it and try to figure out what's going on, and then suddenly sensors poof, die out. You're completely out of sensors. You can't see anything around you. But then you get a report from your first officer, or your comm officer, just as Terzi shows up on the bridge. He says, "Sir, the Klingon vessel is the M'Pal is hailing us."
I would say on screen, but all the power is down, right?
You could still have on screen. It's just the secondary systems are all down.
On screen.
His face pops up. There's like fires in the background, and Captain Akul says, "Captain Sakir, it seems you have hit the same problems we have. These batak eddies all over the place. I've ordered the rest of the convoy to drop out of warp with us, but we could use some help."
What seems to be the problem?
Something about these eddies. We ran right into one in the middle of warp. It just showed up out of nowhere.
We have tried to chart the hazard ourselves to get a better grasp of how to get out of this situation. Has your sensor team attempted the same thing?
No, but we can try.
Be careful.
Acknowledged. M'Pal out. He kind of closes the screen. Now he's going to try it himself. His crew's going to try that.
And then his ship
explodes. This was a command, or it's a con.
It's a reason and con.
One success, but then the ship itself. Assist with sensors, and it was science, right? Or con?
Yes. For the ship, it's sensors and con.
Okay.
Would I be able to use my advisor role here, because I suggested it to him, so if he does get a failure, he can re-roll 1d20.
Okay. So. Okay, they managed to do it. So they scan, and then you get a comm back. What was that charting thing do again? What was that?
It reduces the hazard difficulty by 2.
By 2. Okay. He comms back Terzi, you see him now. You've relieved the officer on duty, and you see that there's a comm coming through from the Klingon ship.
Say that again?
You see a comm coming through from the M'Pal, the Klingon ship.
Okay, I listen to it.
You open it up, and it's the captain says, Vasquez, we've scanned the anomaly. We think we know how to reduce the chances of us getting hit again. Here's the data that we've gathered, and you start seeing a stream of data coming through to your console, Terzi.
Okay, I relay all this to the captain.
Okay.
Have I made it to the bridge by now?
Yes, you've made it to the bridge by now
right.
as well.
All right, so I guess I would be in charge of that information to modify our sensors.
Okay. Give me a. By the way, we'll skip to Daxon real quickly to Cole. Cole, you see immediately what's going on, and you can give me a reason and an engineering, pretty simple task to try to reroute power and bring everything back up to full power.
Reason engineering?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Also, as soon as an explosion hit, I got on comms to engineering and figure out where that was and send a work crew immediately. Make sure you contact sickbay. We don't want anybody getting hurt.
Acknowledged. And they started sending a work crew. It wasn't actually any damage. They didn't do any damage to the ship, but the discharge knocked the power out. So
perfect.
When you got into to engineering, you kind of figured out exactly what happened. Something overloaded the ODN relays, and caused an explosion on one of the decks. No one was hurt, but it was definitely overloaded the whole ship's secondary power system. It's like you got hit by lightning, essentially.
All right. I am going to realign the auxiliary resonance manifold.
There we go. That's some tech technobabble right there.
In an attempt to reroute the power. And roll.
Success. And with 2 additional, because there's only difficulty 1, you have 2 additional momentum.
Excellent. I think that puts us at 4 now. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong.
Yep.
For those who may not be aware, momentum is a shared resource among the entire crew.
Yes. We'll go over kind of some of these roles here in a second. But you may realize that you're stuck. Bosh, you realize something, that you're all stuck with your 2 escort ships being damaged, with 4 vulnerable freighters in the middle of nowhere, halfway between your target, your location.
So we're just like, you're basically saying we're just sitting ducks halfway, like there.
Yeah, you realize that pretty quickly in your own you being the tactical expert you have. You already kind of figured that out.
Yeah, I'm gonna make sure that without like necessarily saying anything, she's just gonna make sure that she is like sharp and prepared for defending, and she's probably just going to tell the captain. She will say to Captain Secure, we must not be. We must be prepared, and we might. And I'm sure what's the name of the other ship?
The Nepal.
The Nepal.
The Nepal would do good to make sure it is also in a defensive position in case anything were to come after these freighters right now.
Very well, number 1. However, I believe that these gravitational eddies may also play to our favor as well. That being said, we may not be the first ones here, so we shall take your advice on this one, number 1.
Understood.
The M'Pal sends a text only kind of message to you, not directly to Terzi, but to the ship. So you get like a notification of a text message. It pops up that's from the M'Pal talking about that their vessel is severely damaged, and it's gonna take them at least 10 minutes to repair the damage because they ran right into an electromagnet, like right into an eddy, like directly into it. You guys just kind of scraped by one. So,
but we're now in the same area of space, guarding the transports.
Yeah.
Okay.
Number 1.
Captain, they're severely damaged over there. They're going to need quite some time, 10 minutes or so.
Very well, Lieutenant. Number 1. This may seem unrelated. However, do make sure that we do have regular security sweeps going down towards the sensor suite's internal mechanisms. I have my suspicions still.
Yes, sir. And I comment to my security team. Security!
Yes, sir.
I want you to protect those sensors like they were your child.
Yes, sir.
And sweep them for any signs of tamper or interaction outside of this crew.
Yes, sir. On it, sir.
Thank you.
I'm
I don't say thank you. Sorry.
I'm gonna start up a general scan of the surrounding area to see if we got anything, any more eddies or ships that may be using these eddies as a sort of a tool to prey on other ships in this uncharted area of space.
Yeah,
I'd like to assist on that.
I will use 2 momentum for that. No, 1 momentum.
1 momentum. So you're scanning for other ships.
Yeah.
All right.
Or just
por favor.
And I want to. Oh, sorry.
That's a task roll 3 then, right?
Yeah.
See if I'm using momentum. Okay.
And like I said, I want to assist him on that.
Okay. Go ahead. Give me an assist.
And what
do we roll for that?
The roll would be what would that complication?
Wait, what was that? A sensor sweep?
A sensor sweep, yeah.
That would be a control science.
Okay, so control science. Reroll that then, Darsh.
Oh, sorry. Control science.
Yeah, reason's more interpreting, control's more maintaining.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Well, anything's better than what I rolled before.
Yeah. Unless you get all 4.
That would be sensor science, right?
The ship would be sensor science, yeah.
There we go. 3 successes.
Oh, complication.
And a complication. Damn it. Does that reduce one of
who broke the sensors before?
It wasn't me.
Yeah. So you are able to succeed. So you're looking for ships, right?
Yep.
You're looking for ships. So
or anything, basically.
So what you're seeing is the electromagnetics are actually components of a much larger interstellar cloud that span this sector of the expanse, and it consists of that just hit you. Some of them are natural. Some of them seem to be artificially made.
Is there like a pattern to their position that I can?
They seem random. Some of them. The problem is it's hard to tell which ones are natural, which ones are artificial. There's some that are more stable that seem to be artificial. And in the middle of your sensor suite, as you're kind of doing this, you see your sensors. The sensors just suddenly like light up with lots of alarms. There is a pair of heavily armed freighters that emerge from behind, from inside, out of one of these electric swirling eddies. One is heading straight for the Mapal. The other one is heading straight for you.
I will relay that information immediately to the rest of the bridge.
And about 5 dozen, or about 5, almost a dozen, about 5 or so. Double check that exactly the number. About 8. I'm sorry. About 8 or so smaller craft, shuttles, fighters, smattering of different types just emerge from other eddies, heading straight for the transports.
Captain, we have ships approaching, exiting the eddies. 2 large transports, 8 small shuttles, all on approach to our location and the transports.
Show them on screen. I know I'm not the captain, but
yeah,
she wants to see
that. Yeah.
Yep.
So
wants to see them.
Jersey.
You see,
that's your
so
line.
if we're gonna do that, let's
I want to identify.
It goes
the
on
ships
screen.
on site.
we're gonna do this on screen. Hold on. Let me actually bring up
Just a quick visual note. Cole is in a t-shirt and sweatpants and like hair matted to his head
because he's been working out. Yeah. Boop.
He was having leg day.
Oop, wait, I already hit that one. We're going back to the same one. Haha. There we go. That's the change. Ah. So yeah, this is what it looks like.
Out. There we go. Yeah, and I want to identify those ships based on like because she has starship recognition focus. So.
Okay, so give me a I believe that's control or insight. That would be because you got to like kind of know what it is and command. Insight and command.
And then focus is being used.
Yes.
Complication.
1.
Okay, and then task roll 2.
So the freighters themselves are Orion freighters that have been modified to. They seem very similar in the configuration that you saw at your last mission. The ships
is one of them the one that survived that attack?
It's hard for you to tell. It doesn't see you without reading the sensor data. You wouldn't be able to tell right off the top of your head.
Yeah, and that's when I'm going to turn to Darsh and say, scan those ships and see if one of them is the one that we saw a couple of weeks ago. It seems like our Orion friends are back for some more.
The small ships.
You got it.
Are shuttles. There's a couple of type 2, type 3 shuttles, Federation shuttles. There's a couple of Orion fighter ships. There's a couple of Klingon scout vessels. They're all a smattering of different smaller vessels. They look like they're haphazard. Mostly, really tiny shuttle-like craft.
By Orion, you're referring to the Orion Syndicate, correct?
Yes, similar to configurations of the Orion Syndicate.
I'm guessing there would be a control and science again.
Security, control and security.
Or reason and science. Control and science.
Control and security, because you're trying to scan these ships and figure out what's going on.
Okay. And I will definitely use one more, that just because that's going to be lower roll. And we haven't been using momentum, and I think we should. Okay.
I agree.
Complications?
1, not many. For those who are wondering, the Orions are the green people in the original series. So, they're an actual...
They like to dance.
Yeah.
So wait, we're down to 2 momentum, by the way, but we have 3 successes on that.
It was only difficulty 1 for that, so you have.
We get back. Back to 4.
Yeah, back to 4.
Oh, and is there a shipper roll for this one?
Yeah, give me a sensors security for this one.
Okay. Roll.
Ooh, complication. So it's success, but there's a complication. You scan it, and it doesn't look like it's the same one, but you're having a hard time figuring out what's on the vessel itself. Like you can scan and figure out the configuration. You're looking at its like warp signature and stuff like that. Its energy signature, and it doesn't seem to be the same. But you're not able to pick up any weapons signatures or anything else. It's just that there's the background radiation is kind of making it difficult for you to tell like what's armed with and such. So with that, let's take a quick break as the as everything is coming up on you guys, and we'll be back here in a few minutes. In the meantime, guys, we're going to use the restroom, grab something to drink. We'll be right back, guys. Don't go anywhere. There we go.
Of all the nebulas in all the universes, you had to fly into mine.
At least we'll always have Ryza.
Whose emote is that? Mitauchi.
It's Mitauchi's, of course, because he hates Janeway, and so they made a meme about how
Janeway's lizard baby.
Yes.
She has the same lighting as I do in the emote.
Mm-hmm.
Red and blue.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're back. Yeah. So for those of you who are wondering, this is the Star Trek Adventures. I just want to kind of make sure you guys know this. The Star Trek Adventures by Modiphius, and they have the character sheets for free on Roll20. They are maintained by Roll20 specifically, and they have tile assets for the Klingon and Starfleet ships, so and like star bases, so you can kind of assets you can like plop down and modify on the marketplace. But a lot of these images were pulled from somebody who had already done a lot of these, had like cut these out individually for various ships in Star Trek. So, for instance, the ship that the crew is on, the USS Vasquez, is actually a New Orleans class. So that is an actual New Orleans class like icon right there that I was able to pull off there. So,
Paul.
Yep.
You have drones, and I switched on the bottom.
Do I? Why did it change for some reason?
Yellow shirts are all the same.
All you yellow shirts.
I thought I got a promotion for a second there. I was like, hey.
Hey.
I got demoted to Dr. Drones.
There's no coming back from that. You're screwed.
Bouncer bot needs to be corrected.
Is it saying the Expanse is supposed to roll every other Saturday?
No.
Yeah, I gotta change that.
Well,
That's
it's
all
partially
wrong.
correct. It's the Shackleton Expanse.
Yes, it's the Shackleton Expanse.
Yes.
For the shadowy Culpeper Federation of Planets.
All right. So, as we come back, as you guys are scanning, we're going to start moving into actual actions. I believe this is the way that I looked it up the last time. Is that every ship gets every NPC ship gets 3 actions to represent its crew and everything else like that, whereas every individual person on the player ship gets 1 action. So. The way I'm going to do this is essentially 3 actions on the player ship, 3 actions for the NPC ship, and then move back. So, for instance, if the captain gets to control that. So, if the captain wants to fire phasers or to reroute power to shields, all that kind of stuff, then the captain can order somebody else to do that, and then that person will have to roll, and the captain can assist in those kind of situations.
Right. Like, I just wanted to make something clear. So because as the captain, I have like a ship combat thing where I basically tell somebody to do something. It doesn't matter what it is I tell them to do. Does that then essentially give them haste, for lack of a better word, so then they can then do what they want to do afterwards? So if I say fire phasers, and then like they fire the phasers, then it goes to their turn, can they then fire phasers again?
No. So you ordering them to do stuff will give them buffs because you have that command buff where it lets them roll and stuff like that. But you're the one who's just kind of coordinating who gets to go for your ship during that time.
Right.
So like for instance, Darj might not have a lot to do because he's doing sensors, but you could also have him trying to chart these magnetic anomalies in the middle of what's going on, or but you may also have Commander or Lieutenant Commander Cole send his engineering teams a certain place, and so he may not have something to do, but he can roll for his head of his engineering crews to go kind of repair those things. So,
okay, and just while we're still out of character, can you please remind me, Dalinar and like Darj, what are you in charge of in particular on the ship? Like, I know you're science, but like there are a bunch of different like sub things you can do with different things I can suggest you can do.
Right now it's sensors. I don't think I've got any other tasks that I could possibly be doing during a battle.
On page 222 and 223 of the core rulebook are sensor operations specifically.
Yes. So he's not navigator as well then, is what I'm asking.
Navigator is a separate role. That's the NPC, so someone else can take control of that NPC for navigator if they want to. That's your ensign Jumo.
Right. Okay. I'm ready.
Okay. I'm pulling up the my own documents real quick so I can make sure I have all those referenced.
Point of order, we didn't clarify this, and I'm fine with it either way. Is Cole in engineering or on the bridge?
It's up to you whether he would be reporting to engineering or the bridge. I'm assuming you'd be reporting to engineering mostly, and then keeping a comm open with the bridge.
Exactly.
On
My default for Cole is if something's going wrong, get to engineering.
Yeah.
Yeah, because on the New Orleans, engineering is actually not on the saucer. It's in the lower compartment, like somewhere in the front.
Just like every Federation ship.
It's also easier for me to do engineering tasks from engineering than from an engineering console on the bridge. Like that's in the rules. I can.
Yeah, if he like, so if something explodes in the warp core, he can figure out. It's easier for him to like, it's a difficulty 1 for him to fix it, rather than a difficulty 2 to try to remotely do so.
Right, but thanks to the New Orleans, he's closer in a way to the bridge and to engineering than he would be like in a Galaxy class.
Yeah, no, so
and no neck.
The New Orleans is actually, it's in terms of size, it's the same size as the Intrepid in terms of its size category. So it's about the same size as the Voyager.
Right.
It's much smaller, but it actually, because of its configuration and how it works, it can actually hold up to 4,000 people. Its crew is about 500 people, but it can hold up to 4,000 in emergency situations.
Right.
Packed like sardines.
All right.
Right.
I'm
Ready with my scanning fingers.
I don't think so, Sigmatech.
The thing is, the New Orleans class made one appearance in one episode of TNG for 3 seconds, and it was a burned husk of a ship after the Battle of Wolf 359.
It was a kit bash of a model.
Yeah, everything.
Yeah.
Everything is speculation.
There are some official manuals for it that exist in lore, and that was the one you linked. That's actually a copy of the official manual.
Oh, is it? Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
But they vary from place to place. Like, there's a different classification for the New Orleans in Star Trek Online than it is in Star Trek Adventures. There's different, like, those pods mean different things. Because in like the official lore, each of those pods is configurable lab. They're individual, but they can also be turned into extra photon torpedo banks or probes or those kind of things.
Mm-hmm.
But in STA, only one of them can.
Only one of them can, yeah. But it's the nature of that style of ship is that it actually has a little bit more.
Yeah.
So,
And it has some highlighters bolted to it.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what the pods are.
Yeah.
Schwann Stabilo Boss highlighters.
So, for instance, sensor operators. Okay, I see sensor operators.
Oh, did we choose what our configurable pod is?
It is the sensor. That's what was in the captain's log. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the sensors. It's they modified the sensor the first bit.
Mm-hmm. Our subspace stability sensors.
Oh, also, here's the thing that's pretty cool for communications, because that's what Terzi is. Terzi, just so you know, you have the entire ship has a EM or electronic warfare suite on it, so you can jam anyone's sensors and other sort of stuff with it. And that's actually an action. It's control plus engineering task, power of 1.
And Sicker, as the captain, would of course know this.
Yes, he would know this, which is the reason why. So you can start jamming, everything if you want to. Now,
and let me just
jam your own signals.
Clarify: would my communications focus apply to using that?
Yes, it's communications and engineering. So with your focuses, you would definitely apply to that.
The only issue with E-War is that you can only select one ship to do it, and we're fighting a lot. And you can spend 2 momentum to select an additional ship. So if we had like max momentum, you could do it to like 3 ships if you succeed. But
Gotcha.
And another thing though is with jamming, we don't have a Raspberry Alert overlay.
Wow.
Lone Star.
I already made a beep, sweeps, and creeps joke earlier.
All right, so to get started, because they got the jump on you, I'm going to have the minor action, the ship, let me pull this up properly. The ship that's near you is going to move into your zone.
Into our personal space.
Into your personal space, get all up in personal, and start hitting you with disruptor fire. Just without warning. One, and that is guys, and then weapons security 2 and assisted, and so they succeed barely. Challenge dice is
this is the part that didn't go that well last time, did it?
yeah.
Ooh.
So because they have Vicious 1, that's 2, 4, 6, 14. That's 14 hit.
our shields are down then.
Yeah, shields are down. One just disruptor close range just comes in, just do, boom, hits the ship's shields down. How many shields do you guys have on the Vasquez?
And so we're still taking some damage.
Well, what's your
right.
structure?
Well, we have resistance. There's resistance
true.
to consider.
Yeah. So
F4 resistance, so yeah. No damage, but shields are down.
okay.
I'm assuming we're starting this at max power, or did we lose power?
Max power. Max power.
Okay.
Yeah. So flies in, disruptor fires go off. You guys hit the ship. Ship rocks as you get smashed, and you get a Terzi, you get reports the shields are down.
Captain, shields are down.
Chief, get them back up.
All right, now it's Captain Stern.
Right. Well, this saves us having to hail them and ask what they want from us. I guess let's return fire, shall we? On the cruiser that was directly in front of us. GM, the 4 cargo ships in the block ahead, those aren't our guys, are they?
Those are your
That's
guys.
Those are
your
our guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're mostly defenseless right now because they have shields, but they don't have any weapons on them.
Right. Okay. Well, in that case, I order. Who's in charge? I should know this already, but who shoots?
Me.
So I can call them by
Yeah,
name.
you're XO.
Of course. Why
All
wouldn't
right.
I shoot stuff?
Right. Well, in that case, let's return fire, shall we? Number 1.
Yes. Are you wanting? Well, she asked, phasers or torpedoes?
For now, phasers.
Torpedoes increases threat, by the way. For those of you guys who don't know, they need to achieve a certain goal. So, like, for instance, that ship hit 2. It requires 2 to even hit. There's no, like, armor class or anything like that. You just have to succeed on 2 hits. Unless there's some other complications or other variables. And so they hit, and then if they hit, they do damage automatically. And then the shields will absorb a lot of the damage, and then also the resistance, the natural armor that of the ship will actually resist as well. So, you could get a amazing hit and do a ton of damage, and it does nothing. Or, like, do a ton of dice damage, but it actually does nothing. So.
Okay. Well, if I'm going to shoot, I'm going to use my precision targeting talent.
Okay. What does that do you?
When basically I have extensive knowledge of ship systems, and when I make an attack that targets specific ship systems, they may re-roll in their dice pool, and the attack gains piercing 1 damage effect. So
and piercing just goes through their resistance, right?
Yeah. So if I have any like d20s that don't do so good, I can just re-roll it, and then like you said, I get piercing 1.
Okay, go for it. And the
And
ship.
I'd like to assist, by the way.
Also and also for my task, I'm going to use ship engagement tactics focus.
Okay.
Sorry, I forgot to say. But do I say I want an area attack, or because our phasers have 2 functions, area and spread? Those are the 2 effects we have. Area allows us to basically do the same amount of damage to a nearby target if they're close enough, according to the GM. Spread just means that we can we do an extra hit to the same target for half damage.
It's up to you, because area, there's no one else in your phaser range for you right now. But you could do spread for double the attack. You know, it's like when if you're watching the show, it's just like when it's like it seems like it's like multiple beams are coming out. So
right. Well, in that case, we'll spread number 1.
Spread then, Captain. What's my task roll stuff? Yada
2.
yada. 2 for
basic,
control.
Control, security.
Security. And then I'm using a focus, complication.
1.
Okay. All right, here it goes. Off my character sheet.
Okay, you hit, and then roll for the ship as well, which is weapons security.
Weapons security, and let me see if the ship has anything that I can use in this situation itself.
So have we succeeded in the phase of fire?
Yes, the ship may actually give you a
sure.
little bit more. So
right.
And so these are phaser arrays. I'm just making sure there's not a ship talent I want to apply. I mean, electronic warfare system sounds good, but that sounds more of like what's his face? I can't ever remember. Yeah, it sounds like more his thing. Even though, I mean, I could assist him with that, but whatever. Let's do that real fast. So, phaser arrays. Here we go. Energy. And I can re-roll one of those ones. Well, I'm going to use a challenge die to do that, just because that's what it actually rolls the same way.
Okay. Try it again one more time. Every time first time you roll, it doesn't roll right properly for whatever reason. Okay, cool.
Oh, hey. So 2 piercing damage.
So 2 piercing damage. So 2 go through. That means you do. Let's see, 2, 4, 6, 11, I think.
Oh.
Because one of those is
11.
2. One of those is 2.
I missed the one on the end.
Yeah. And one of those is 2. So that's 2, 4, 6, 14 actually. No.
It'd be nice if it actually
13.
did a calculation at the end, but yeah.
And with spread, how much damage does we do total?
Spread applies the same damage, like half the damage again?
Yes, half damage again.
So that's 14 plus 7, or I'm sorry.
Yeah, so it's 2 attacks essentially. So 14, because you guys had what is the special effects of the phasers?
Versatiles, so we get 2 momentum instead of 1 for the success.
Okay, go ahead and do one I'll do it for the ship real quick, just to make sure you guys have it. Ship task roll. You succeed, so you guys have 2 momentum instead of 1. Yeah.
So we're now at
or 3 momentum except for 1, because you get an additional momentum per success, right?
Doesn't matter. We had 4, now we have 6.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay.
That'll work really well for my next action.
Yes. I actually did the wrong one, but it's okay. I'll just say it's okay. So they only have 10 shields, and 2 of those are piercing through the resistance anyways, so, and you guys got 13, so that's 2 damage. Roll me a D6 to see where you, because you weren't targeting a specific system, right? You were just
well,
we didn't declare a targeted system.
I actually was targeting a system, because that's what that talent and it said, and I forgot to say what system. I would, if I have enough of a knowledge of Orion, I would have applied it at because I have the starship recognition. I probably would have applied the damage toward a system that's fairly critical to Orion function, which in general I probably would say it's weapons in this case, to kind of disable weapon.
Okay, so
as much as possible.
Plus, you did 7 more damage for that second one. So the first one did 2 piercing 2. Its shields are down, and then you did an additional 4 damage. Oh god. Oh god.
Oh, their weapon system's destroyed.
Are they
So Ryan should not have returned.
That depends. Does the entire ship blowing up count as their weapon system being destroyed?
Yes.
Because so how damage works with ships is resistance total damage. If the ship suffers 5 or more damage from a single attack or hazard after reduction of resistance, the system's hit suffers a breach. If the ship is reduced to 0 shields by that attack or a hazard, it suffers a breach. So it suffers a breach.
We should have
if the
suffered
ship
a
had
breach
0
too,
shields
then.
before the attack or the hazard, inflicts 1 or more damage, the ship suffers a breach. So there are 3 breaches that happened on this ship at once, all on their engine.
Breach.
Yeah, all on their weapons array. Let me see.
I think you will find my attack satisfactory, Captain.
Indeed. What is their ship scale, by the way?
3.
The ship scale is 3, so after 3 breaches,
They're
then their
gone.
weapon systems are disabled.
They're disabled. Yeah. So
Nice.
so you just instant fire. Your phasers fire out, and then just it hits it, and boom! An explosion rips the top of the ship as its weapon system gets knocked out. Its disruptors get totaled in one shot. Now,
And how many total actions do we have left? Because he ordered me to attack, and that was
Yeah.
the only one he did so far. So
Yes.
he still has 2
and Terzi helped
commands to give out.
you. And
Oh,
he
yeah,
also told the engineer to get the shields back
Get
up.
shields up.
Oh yeah.
Which I
Quick
have not
fast,
rolled for
please.
yet. I'm going to spend 1 momentum on the roll
Mhm.
as well, just to be 100% sure. My difficulty is only 1 for this.
Yes.
But I want to be sure. So if somebody could roll for the ship as well, that would be great.
I'll do it for you. What's the ship roll gonna be?
So that's gonna be structure plus engineering.
Okay.
Okay, and for me, it's control engineering. And
Okay.
task roll 3, difficulty 1, go. Oh.
There's no assist. There's no critical failure though.
Yeah.
So you get 4 successes.
So
Yeah,
we're
On
back to
a,
6
on a 1 required.
Yep. So the I'm gonna pump 3 momentum from the roll. I don't actually know how this works. Whether because we're at max momentum right now. Do I have to spend before we get the momentum or after?
Well, you already
we-
spent 1. You spent 1,
Yeah,
so that
okay.
went down, and then
So we're at
if
5.
you're at 5. So then you gain momentum after the roll, and now with your ability, you're max momentum. So, but you wouldn't be able to get over 6. So you basically just spilled over a little bit of momentum, but that other 2 doesn't count. So you're at max momentum now.
I'm gonna spend a full 5 though, so we only have 1 momentum left in the pool, but we're at maximum shields.
Nice.
Okay, shields just pop right back up. Your fingers fly across the Elcor as you're shouting out to the Jensen and Weathers to like reroute this, do that, whisper into your ship a little bit.
Come on, baby.
Daddy loves you.
And the shields just pop right back up on top of that with the Orion freighter kind of listing a little bit in front of the ship.
our
Shields
engineer.
at maximum, Captain.
There you go.
Well done, Chief.
And because Terzi aided you with that targeting, I guess he was trying to help you with the targeting solutions and stuff like that. I'm going to count that as his 3rd action because he was also helping.
Okay.
So now we're going to cut to the fighters. The fighters are going to zoom in on the transports that come on in, and they're going to open fire on the transports themselves. 2 per transport. Go. These are, again, shuttlecraft, scoutcraft. Some of them are Orion fighters. Just zipping all over the place. Okay. And each one of them, because they're so small, they're going to get one action after this. Is weapons. Hits, 1 and 1. Hits, 1 and 1. Misses. Hits. Hits.
These guys are annoying.
And critical miss.
The
So
bright
one of
side, they're tiny, so
Yeah.
hopefully the freighter shields can take a couple of hits.
There is
Yeah.
a lot of them, though.
a lot of them, but they're like shuttlecraft. They don't have a ton of.
Basically, auroras.
They're just like little pew 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 pew.
These aren't even like auroras. These are more like if you're using Star Trek references, these are or Star Citizen references. They're probably more like Merlins, or
okay.
like they're tiny.
Fair enough.
So
One of these days, if we know we're gonna risk getting into combat, we should also launch a runabout.
yeah. So Universal 2. So that first one is 2 damage. That does nothing. That just the shields go down a little bit for the first one. So
The runabout has to be manned, though, right?
yes.
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 Yeah.
Would
the
that be
runabout
one
is
of
what
us
they
or an
had in
NPC?
DS9.
Right.
Yes.
Depends on which runabout we're launching. If it's the Husik, I'm on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that I want to risk your life against all these ships. Call me
No.
crazy.
Yeah, not this combat, but like if we ever anticipate combat, because this kind of happened out of nowhere.
Right.
9. So the first one has 5 shields down. This is gonna be hard to you know what? Instead of doing all of these calculations, because this is just gonna slow everything down, what I'll do is I'll just have a big pool for each of the freighters, and once they reach a certain point, I'll say that their shields are down. So that way we're not having to constantly like sit back to these guys. So I'll do one more of this for this round. Okay, so these 2 freighters still have their shields up. The 2 freighters on the left and the 2 freighters on the right, their shields are down. That kind of comes in and shields. But one of the fighters seems to just like have a little mini explosion on it, and it kind of veers off as its weapon system seems to have malfunctioned. Let's try to fire. These things are very ad hoc. Now it is the last one's turn to try to get in on the Mapal. Flies into the Mapal. Oh god, I remember last time I had a fucking Klingon a Klingon Bird-Of-Prey attack one of these things, and it destroyed it in one hit.
But that had the advantage of having a barrage on board.
Yeah, true.
And the Daxon Cole.
Yes. So it's going to go after this. Fire everything. It missed.
It fired everything
Poorly. And then the Mapal is going to fire back. Today is a good day to kill. And it hits. Oh, this is not going to end well for this guy. Because he's firing his disruptor cannons. They're vicious 1. And just for base stats for Klingon Bird-Of-Prey, they roll 11 challenge dice. 11.
Perhaps today is a good day to die.
And vicious is... Ooh.
Every time they get a Starfleet symbol, it's actually 2 instead of a 1.
Oh.
But they have no Starfleet symbols.
No, so they've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10,
So they
12.
only do 16.
They only do 16 damage.
Only 16.
Wait, did it do the thing? That looks like too many dice.
No, that's right. It's
Many
11.
dice.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh, no, it's 11 plus... it's 11 plus the weapons
Gotcha.
bonus. So, like, for instance, their weapons is 10, so they have 11 plus 10, I believe, for the damage.
So it's 21 dice.
Yes. Which is why Klingon ships are not to be fucked with, because they will fuck you up if you're not careful with them in this game. And they're rugged, so they get like easier to maneuver and easier to all these other things.
Easier to repair if Session 0 is any indication.
Well, but,
16.
Klingon damage is basically just a bunch of cables falling out. You just have to reconnect them and everything's back.
Yeah. So, this guy... So they have 16. They're going for the end weapons as well. Or no, because you don't have any, you have negative for weapons. They're just firing at this thing. Let me do the dice roll. The D6/R, 1D6. First, see what they hit. 1. Okay. That would be communications. So they just got a critical with the communications. So communications. I'm trying to remember what the case is. So if they get a critical attack, it's yeah. So it suffers a breach. So so it suffers 2 breaches. So their communications is damaged.
And they're one breach away from being incapacitated.
They're size 1, right? They're scale 1? Wait.
Scale, no, these are the freighters. These are scale 3.
All right.
So they take 2 breaches, so they're damaged. Disabled is equal to the amount of scale it is, and destroyed is anything over that is they're destroyed. Their weapon systems is gone. So with that, we're gonna cut back to the original freighter who's gonna be attacking you guys. We're gonna have that
With what weapons?
Oh yeah, but they have to repair. So and repairs real quickly so we can just get it. This is still new system to us, so we're still working a lot of the kinks for repairs.
It's an internal systems task under engineering on page 224. Damage control.
Our presence plus engineering task with difficulty determined by the system.
And I don't think this one is actually assisted by the ship because it calls it out when it is.
It's assisted by the ships, yeah. It's transporters. Yeah, it is. So it's just 30. Weapon system.
Difficulty to repair this is 4
4.
if it's in
Okay.
disabled status.
Okay. Woo. Okay. Woo, child. All right.
Ooh, child, things
They're
gonna
going to
get
get easier.
easier.
Ooh, child.
Ooh, poo, poo, poo. Kapla.
Presence plus engineering task. Okay. Presence plus engineering. These guys are not that good at that. No, they are not able to restore power to their. You guys messed them up. They're going to try to evasive action as well. So that is a evasive action. Daring con with difficulty of 1. Daring con roll. They succeed with the ships helping them. Structure plus con. Okay. Oop. Okay, so yeah, they're able to do it. So they start taking evasive action. So like as they're trying to repair that, they start taking evasive action, which means that it's an additional difficulty 1 to hit them, but it's also an additional difficulty 1 for them to hit fire back once they have stuff up and down. Now, Vasquez, you're up.
Switch to attack pattern.
Which one?
Attack pattern alpha.
Okay, so is that another one of those things you can do?
So it's daring plus con, difficulty 2, power 1, and that reduces our attack difficulty by 1, just to counter their evasive action.
Okay. So Jumo, it's con and
daring.
Daring. Okay. He goes, "Aye, sir," and then proceeds to not mess it up. He got 1. It's difficulty 1 to do it, right?
What was the ship's roll?
What was the ship's roll?
Is weapons plus con.
Weapons plus con.
Okay. I rolled 2, but I may only have needed just to roll the 1.
Just needed to roll the 1. We'll just count it as you have 1 more additional momentum. So you have now 2 momentum. So it starts to try to maneuver away, tries to get out of your fire, and then you kind of move in behind it a little bit and swerve to try to get on its prevent it from moving. So now it's an even shot. So it's up to you, Captain. You still have 2 more actions.
Well, let's put an end to their weapons altogether, shall we? Number 1.
Yes, Captain. Understood. And she's going to do the same thing as before. She's going to use the precision to re-roll something if needed.
Mm-hmm. Going after the weapon system, trying to destroy it?
Yeah, weapon system.
With a spread, if you will.
Yes. And then, so I think I have her left. Yep, she's still on that one. 2 task roll, 1 complication range.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, for that. And then for the ship, it's weapons plus security. And it's 1.
1. So you succeed. Barely.
Okay. and then time to do the damages. And then I get to re-roll 1. I'll just use the challenge die. There you go.
Okay. So, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 4? No. Yeah, 4 would be the additional attack after this. So its shields are down. You hit. You do 9 damage. You do 5 damage. So it adds an additional breach on its weapon system. So its weapon systems are destroyed. But then another fire comes in, and I'm just going to do this randomly to see what other system you destroy. 4, because you've already destroyed that weapon system. That's just not getting repaired. That is their engines take a 1 breach as well.
Captain,
actually, their weapons system takes 2 breaches. So yeah, their their engines are now. When you get hurt and your shields are down, you are really vulnerable really quickly.
Ooh.
They're damaged. So
if their engines took 2 breaches, they're also down 4 power immediately.
Yeah, and every time you guys are firing, by the way, you have to reduce your power by 1. So
we're down
you
to
kind
8
of
power.
messed up the overlay.
Did I?
for the view screen.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know why that.
So we fired phasers twice, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Fired
and we
phasers
did
twice.
something else that took
And,
power, so
they-
we're at
yeah.
7.
There we go.
I don't know why that happened.
Captain, I did a little extra damage to their engines.
Well done, number 1.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say we have another action, but I feel bad being the one like making all the decisions.
You're the captain.
Oh, you're the captain.
I can suggest stuff to you as your XO.
We're- Yeah.
Please do, whenever you want. Like, don't feel like you have to like wait for me to say something.
Captain, may I suggest that we wage a little bit of electronic warfare via Mr. I'm sorry, I can never say his name.
Tersey.
Tersey. May I suggest that we have Mr. Tersey do a little bit of electronic warfare?
We're just changing your name now, drones.
Very well.
Which target are you thinking?
Well, the one that we are attacking, right? And Ewar will basically intercept or signal jam them.
Mm-hmm.
So, if anyone's talking to them, we will get what they're trying to get.
Which is 100% in your ballpark there.
Yep, it's our talent. It's one of our talents.
Yeah.
Let me look up that ship talent too, because I need to see it.
It also is 100% in the talents of Tersey. So this is his home ballpark in this kind of situation.
But I need to find what the ship talent define. We need to put the descriptions of the ship talents in the sheet at some point, so we don't have to look it up. I'm wondering if that's in the command book.
No, it's going to be in the.
So
I already have it on my thing here. It says intercept or disrupt enemy communications in battle.
Oh,
On any
yeah.
intercept or signals jamming task, spend 2 momentum to select an additional ship.
Okay, so you can do 2 ships
Oh.
if you want to.
We do. We have 2 momentum.
ooh,
Yeah, I would get the other big Orion.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Yeah, let's do that. Which attribute discipline?
That is a good question. That would be
It
Communication.
is control plus engineering for signals jam.
what's
Oh,
weird
engineering.
is that it doesn't say on where I got it from. So yeah.
Yeah, it's under comms. It says signals jamming. The communications officer transmits signals to interfere with the target's attempts. You can also do intercepts, which is communications officer seeks to pick up and decipher transmissions from others. That's a communications insight plus engineering with the communication.
So
Okay.
I would suggest in that case signal jamming the one that we're attacking and intercepting signals from the one attacking the Klingon vessel. That way we have both forms of information.
Roger that.
What's the ship's role?
The ship's role would be for the first one for signals jamming would be communications plus security.
Okay.
And then how do I do the additional
You
the
well, if
second
you're
ship?
oh,
The second one would be insight plus engineering.
Would be what?
Insight plus engineering.
Insight plus.
Mm-hmm.
And is that another task roll too?
That is
Task
another
roll
task
two.
roll.
sweet.
And what do I do for the ship on that one?
For that
Communication
one-
security.
Yeah,
Okay,
communications
so
and
same
security.
thing.
Yep.
Oh, weird. It's
Ooh.
telling me no system here.
Damn ship!
Complication.
Could
Yeah.
I get the ship to re-roll that with my advisor action?
Yeah. Yeah, you're advising the ship. The ship is a
Ship is
character.
a character.
Oh, there
Okay.
you go.
There we go. So for the first ship, you're
That's
able to jam. It was only a difficulty 1. They've gotten so messed up. Their systems are so out of place that you're easily to jam them. The second one you're picking up, you're getting information. You're able to hear them say, you hear they're jamming the other freighter, and you see and hear another stuff is like this is stupid. We're all gonna die. I didn't sign on to fight Klingons in the Federation.
We get 2 momentum back with that. Big roll the second
For
time.
success,
Yes.
yeah, I think.
For the second one, it was actually a little bit harder because they're not down, so it was 2, but you still get 2 back. Yeah. The first one was a 1. So yeah, you actually get 3 momentum back because the first one was a 1.
What's our momentum pool at the moment?
3.
Thank you.
So yeah, you're hearing them argue. The little fighters are screaming about. You can intercept the conversation between the little fighters. They're just like, yeah, I'm about to take on a fucking Federation starship and a Klingon Bird-Of-Prey. I'm just here for these freighters. So you're hearing some discord amongst the ranks there, Terzi.
Oh, they're using Discord.
And I of course share that.
Question to crew, real quick. Did we add the extra 2 momentum when we did the successful attack a second ago, or no?
No.
I don't think we did.
All right, so we're back up to 5 momentum now. Then.
No.
And by the way, I've been doing my thing wrong. I realize now that with my talents that I was supposed to reroll d20s. So if I had failed an attack, or if I needed to reroll, but it still adds the piercing. It still adds the piercing. So the damage effect is actually piercing for every one of them.
Oh Jesus, yeah, they would have been a lot worse off.
We will, we don't have to. Obviously, we're not going to retcon it because that's just part of the learning process. But just going forward, I just realized, oh crap, I got that wrong. But yeah.
Also, in regard to momentum, we had 2 momentum, and then you did jamming and intercepting, so we lost 2 momentum.
Yeah,
because of the second one.
Well,
and now we get 3 back, so now we're at 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. And what we just got the report that they're just from Tiedre. So that's why I keep in my mind. So it's Terzi. So we got
it
that. It
says right above his head.
I know, but
I'm
looking at
does.
a million different things. I'm looking at too many things.
In all fairness, of all the characters on the bridge, he's the one that the CEO, the XO, is the least familiar with. So it makes sense. Yeah,
that's true.
It is true. It is true.
I'll just have her say a different name every time. But after getting that report, she is going to actually suggest that she's like, Captain, may I suggest we try to hail those fighters, or send a hail out to each of those fighters to tell them that they have a chance to leave if they so choose.
Very well.
And I think that's the end of our round, or is it? Or
yeah,
I'll give you a free hail for this one. I'll give you a free hail for this one. Yeah.
Open a channel.
Mr. Terzi. Yeah.
Channel's open.
You have the floor, number 1. You are more imposing than I.
She steps, around the console thing before he starts it. She says, Orion fighters! This is the starship USS Vasquez. On behalf of this crew, I speak for us and I say that you may leave if you choose to. But if you don't, we will use the full force of both the Federation and the Klingon ship. You have a minute to make your choice before we continue to fight. Inhale.
It ends. You just broadcast it out. All right, so next up is the fighters, and they are going to turn and flee. They did not sign up for this, especially seeing you guys just destroy their one of their lead ships really quickly. So they all kind of break off their attacks, and then they return towards their these electromagnetic eddies, and they actually fly through them and disappear.
Interesting.
Into the eddies. And the same, I'm just going to say the same thing happens to these other fighters here. They disappear from range. Now, it's the other turn of the other who is going to make an attack on the Klingon vessel. because they only had one attack and damaged them only a little bit. Oop. They fail with complications, so they fire and their engines peter out, so it's disabled until they can repair it. I'm going to give them a air for weapons and that one. Ship. They are not able to repair it, and their last action is to flee. Now it's the last freighter's turn. They can only move one zone. The last freighter's turn. It is significantly damaged, and it's going to turn and try to flee out of back into one of the things as well, the other eddies. But it's only able to make one move, so it's up to you now. You have a almost disabled freighter that is weapons are gone, its engines are severely damaged,
Captain, Klingons aren't ones to take prisoners, but perhaps a tractor beam and a discussion should happen with the Orions.
Make it so.
And then whatever, I guess that's another thing for security, because I think that's, or at least like for my console, like a tactical console.
Yeah, tractor beams are a weapon.
Yeah.
So the shields pop back up on the Orion. I'll just say that as they're fleeing as well. So they have their shields back up a little bit on that one.
Okay, so
for
our
both
tractor beam is
ineffective against shields.
Yeah, their shields pop back up. So you'd have to take out their shields and then try to tractor beam them in, which would be 2 actions.
Okay, so Captain, their shields are back up. I must do something about that. Perhaps another. What are they? Are they in phaser range?
No, you'd have to move. So you'd have to make a minor action to move over there.
Okay. We would need to pursue them, helmsman.
Captain? Or no, wait, you're the commander. Yes, commander. They're just gonna agree that. That's a minor action, but I'm still gonna make because it's kind of
cut them off.
Kind of dicey, so I'm gonna have him
head them off at the pass.
Probably could have torpedoed them first, but I don't want to destroy them.
Let us bring them in for interrogation. Full spread of torpedoes.
Okay, let's do the torpedoes then.
Shoot first. Ask questions to the corpses.
He's able to get there easily. You guys get one more momentum back up because it's only a level 1 difficulty.
And then I actually won't use that thing this time, so I don't do so much damage to them. Just enough to get them get their shields back down.
You can still do it's versatile, so you can still do the two attacks, one and then the second attack for half damage if you hit.
Oh, okay. Yeah, then I'll do that. Here, let me go ahead and blah blah blah. I think that's control plus security.
Mm-hmm. Just gotta get 2 successes.
Two tasks. Okay.
2 tasks. Yep. The ship can assist, but holy shit.
Yes.
That's
the ship.
I can't handle all this momentum.
Yeah.
Security, weapons. 1.
Yeah. So you just all the momentum's back.
Yep.
And then phaser arrays, so I don't need to re-roll anything.
Nope.
Phaser arrays, here they go.
Okay. So that's one. You take down their 9, and you're targeting their shields, right? You're trying to take down their shields.
Yeah, specific shields.
So that's 1, 2. I have to look it up. I think there's a penalty for targeting specific subsystems.
Shields is not a subsystem you can target.
It's literally you when you fire at them, it just screws with shields.
Maybe just do structural damage for that as well. You know what? Because you're not trying to destroy them.
Not trying to
and
kill
you
it,
actually hit them. So I'll just say you can bring down their shields without any other kind of
cool
problem. So their shields are down.
And then now I got to do the stuff for tractor beam to instigate tractor beam.
I believe that's a opposed roll, but let me look at the tractor rules.
While this is happening, I turn to Baj and I go, "Excellent thinking, number one. We wouldn't want to lose face with our Klingon compatriots by letting them all escape."
No. And perhaps they can assist us in convincing these Orion that what they are doing is not all right.
Honorable.
It is without honor.
Somehow, I feel like we may find some difficulty in changing the Orion Crime Syndicate's ways. However,
we can at least interrogate them as to why they keep why we keep running into them specifically.
that is correct.
What is their game? So I would assume right off the top of my head it's control and
security.
For me. Yeah, and then for the ship, let me look at the ship's thing. Yeah, it's a weapon, and it would be security again, I bet, or maybe even engine. I don't know. It might be.
I imagine it's a
opposed task.
Opposed task because they're gonna try to break out of your.
Yeah, because they probably try to be like evasive or something.
Should have gone for the engines.
We're looking at tractor beam rules. This is the one thing I didn't.
Yeah. It's like the one thing I didn't think about either. It was just like, oh, well, that makes sense.
When you had 3,000 words of notes, it still didn't do everything.
Well, I had to write notes for not just what I can do, but every single other person's things as well. Yeah, but I missed out ground combat and tractor beams.
It's page 223 is where we want to look. The tractor beam strength is the difficulty for the help ship to break free.
Okay, so it has to use
break free.
Sorry.
It's a strength of 3, so that means.
Yeah, so it's a control plus security task. Assisted by the ship's structure and security, and difficulty of 2, and directed to the target close range. If successful, unless the target can break free using their shield. Modulations, the raw power. Okay, so shield modulations. That's going to be under modulate shields, which is difficulty task of 2. It's actually just structure engineering. So it's control plus security plus structure engineering. Okay. So,
structure engineer. Okay, well, on our side, what's the ship's role?
The ship's role is
weapons and security.
Structure and security, or control and security. Yeah. The ship's structure and security.
Our structure and security. Okay, sweet. I got that set up. I'm rolling.
And any momentum? No.
And that. No. I need no momentum.
All right. So then they have to beat your with a structure and. Going to spend some threat. They'll spend 2 threats to increase the cold because they really want to get the fuck out of here. So boom, 1 success.
Suck it, Orion.
Okay, so you guys managed to.
Oh wait, I didn't do the tractor beams roll. I want to see what that does. Okay, well we did really good.
We tractored them all right.
Yeah, I think the challenge dice is just a. They have to beat in order to escape. So the tractor beam strength it's not an actual challenge dice roll. It's just that's the difficulty they have to do in terms of breaking it.
Yeah.
So, so you tractor beam them in. You guys have a good hold on them. Now it's the fighters are gone. I forgot to go for the Mapaw. The Mapaw will definitely attack them. Mapaw's not letting him. He's not letting them live. These are Klingons. Let's be honest here. You attack the Klingon vessel, you're not going to live.
The GM meant nothing by that, number 1.
What? It's true.
But you didn't, is what I'm trying to say.
It's because I work for Starfleet and I have rules to abide by.
And I'm going to also spend threat for them, and they're going to go because I control them. And I'm also going to have them fire a full spread of photon torpedoes and disruptor cannons at the same time.
Oh my!
So the first one's the disruptor. The
Fire everything!
Yeah. That hits. That really does hit. And that increases more threat to me, obviously. But and then they're going to fire the disruptors just as a normal roll. Blade does not complications. The disruptor misses, but the torpedoes hit. Okay. So
in the words of the esteemed admiral, I would like to say, "Oh my."
So full spread. I'm looking for that. Full spread of torpedoes. Or is it under tactical?
Full yields? Is that what you're looking for? That talent?
The spread.
It's a weapon talent.
Well, yeah, it's high yield is what it is, but you can fire spread rather than just the normal one we did last time. I think they get additional damage.
Spread for us was the one where it was doing. No, that was for my talent, wasn't it? No, spread.
No, yes. Spread is you get an extra attack, but it's half damage.
An extra attack at half damage, so they get to attack again.
Yeah, you can just add the half of whatever damage you already did.
So another attack.
But you have to roll another attack?
Yeah.
Yeah. We weren't doing that earlier.
Oh no! Never mind. Because it's a different attack, but it's half damage. It's kind of like the I'm talking about the spread of torpedoes. That's different.
Oh right.
Maximum yield? Is that what you're talking about? Full spread maximum yield or whatever?
Because that's a talent, isn't it?
Yeah.
They don't have that talent, but there's a thing with the torpedoes where you can spread. You can either fire a single torpedo or you can fire a full spread, and that full spread.
Is it salvo?
Salvo. Thank you.
Yeah, I have a salvo.
Characters can choose to fire torpedo salvo instead, which adds 2 more threat, but adds an additional 1 1 threat die to the attacker's damage and gains the spread effect. Spread effect.
Excuse me, this is almost over. We don't care about threat.
Attacks using the torpedoes have a basic difficulty of 2. So yeah. So basically, it still counts as a spread because it's a salvo, but so it's a second attack if it gets half the damage if it hits. But it also gets an additional damage.
Sorry.
So yeah.
Okay.
Fucking Klingon. Because this is going to be 8. So boom. Ouch. So
their torpedoes are doing less damage than the disruptors.
They are because they're long range. Yeah.
14 damage.
14 damage plus another half.
21 total.
21 total. They're going after their engines. Their engines are destroyed. They're drifting in space. The torpedoes, disruptors fire everything. Everything goes off. The torpedoes just slam one after another into the engines, and it just kind of rips it, destroys the engines, and it's floating in space. And now you get a hail from Captain Akul coming in.
On screen.
Pops up and goes, "Oh, we both have our targets. What do you say we deal with these Patak who decide to attack the Federation and the glory of the Klingon Empire?" "Do you want to keep yours alive, or do you want me to keep mine?"
Do as you will with yours. We will try. We have a tractor beam established. We're going to try and contact them and see exactly if we can get some information from them.
Acknowledged. Mapal out. Closes the thing.
I want to be the one to hang up next time.
No, you hang up first.
Oh.
Exactly.
If you want to show your might to the Klingons, hang up first. Just saying.
So the
wait. So if this is the action for hanging up, would a Klingon hang up like this?
That's the Vulcan.
The Vulcan.
Vulcan. Sorry, yeah, Vulcan hang up. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, but a Vulcan taps their combat like this.
Yeah.
You missed then.
When you hang up with Klingons in ship hails, you go when you hit the button.
So the before you guys get this, I'm going to play out this fighter. The freighter's weapons are still up because they were going after they're damaged. So they fire desperately and they hit with their disruptors. And do no damage. Barely scratch the shields, and the Mapal is going to just. This is going to be nasty. 2, 1 hits. Disruptors. Its shields are down. They lashed out, and each one of those chevrons is a 2. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10,
22.
12. 22. This freighter explodes. It just ship hits it, boom, boom, explosion. The whole thing rips apart into pieces as the Klingon flies through the debris and kind of comes back towards you guys. Now you guys have a freighter tractored in. You have it locked. Their shields are down. What do you want to do,
Lieutenant Terzi? Open a channel, if you will.
Who?
Terzi? Drones.
Tearsy.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, it's not enough.
So used to anybody not knowing his name when somebody actually calls him his name, he has no idea what they're talking about.
What? Who? Never heard of him.
It would help if the communications officer would unmute himself on Discord.
Well,
I ejected the warp core. No.
No, don't do that. Don't do that. It's fine. All right. Channel open.
Okay, pops up. There's no. You have an open channel right now.
Number 1, you have the floor.
Orion Starship or Freighter, sorry. Orion Freighter! This is Commander Baaj, representing the USS Vasquez, under the command of Captain Zakir. Why do you keep shooting us? What do we do to you? What is your problem? Why do you keep screwing with us? You and all the Orion friends.
Classic Klingon diplomacy.
All right,
What the fuck?
Don't give me our character. Good thing.
A face appears and it's an Orion man who's staring at you. He's like, there's fire all over his bridge, and he goes, "That's none of your business, Federation. Now are you gonna take us aboard and give us to one of your Federation penal colonies? It's a fucking luxury compared to where I'm from. So you either kill me or take me captive. Your choice."
I think it is my business to know why the ship has had to deal with Orion attackers in the last 2 weeks. So you better start speaking.
You're infringing on our territory. What do you expect us to do? Just sit back and let you just walk all over the expanse?
Well, yes, because that's what we do. At least that's what Klingons do. Please. As far as the Federation goes, they have this sector.
All right, so
and why are there ion disruptions all over the place that you are going in and out of?
So this is going to be social combat a little bit. So how social combat works is you can roll for like intimidation or
Oh, I can roll for intimidation really good.
Yeah.
What is that? That's presence. I imagine that's presence plus command, maybe?
I'm looking it up real quickly. Where there's
For intimidation, I could see something more charismatic being present.
Yeah, it's definitely possible. Combat.
Intimidation, I could see being security presence, and then I could see like more like the opposite of that, like charming being more president's command.
Presidents.
But I don't know. I need to find that little task list in the book. I need to make a cheat sheet of those.
Quick. Training.
Are Orions still slavers?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
So essentially, what you got to understand is what happened to the Orions is that during the TOS era, they kind of retreated into the Expanse, and the Orion Syndicate is kind of like what's left over of the Orions, who they are. They're not just Orions; there are other species as well, part of the Orion Syndicate. But this is a hotbed of their operations, and everyone knows that they've been, operating out of the Expanse for years. But now with the Romulans, the Klingons, and the Federation pushing in.
They're kind of being bitches. I get it.
Orion Starship, stop being bitches.
It is illogical for you to be a bitch.
Good one, Captain. Good one. You're learning well.
Thank you, number 1.
Social conflict. Okay. So, you can use deception. You can use intimidation.
Intimidation, for sure.
Okay, this is an imposed task. And how are you going to intimidate him?
You better start giving answers, or you will be destroyed.
Okay, so you're threatening him. Give me a presence plus security for that one, or presence plus command. Presence plus command for that one.
Okay. And it's any complications, etc., etc.
No complications, but it's in direct. You're going to be going 1-to-1 with this guy. So,
okay, so it's opposed.
It's opposed. Yeah, task 2.
I'm going to see if I have like one focus that's lead by example, but I don't know if that would be really applicable in this.
There's nothing else to explode for them to.
Well, if I'm like showing the crew kind of like how Klingon deals with this kind of bullshit.
Right.
Is that a talent, or is that a value?
It's a focus. It's a focus.
What does it give you?
I mean, it's a focus. They don't really have.
Yeah. You can use focus for this one. Yeah,
Okay,
I'll let you use that one because you're trying to teach them how to be more Klingon. That was
Yeah.
part of your whole thing with being an XO.
Yeah.
Okay.
So 2.
Nothing. Okay. So basically, you're like give up or die, and so
Yeah.
he looks at you and goes, "Fucking Klingons," and you reach down here, and then like the ship. Your sensors show that the ship's powered down, and he's like, "You win this round, Federation."
Okay. I mean,
Is that...
Yeah.
what do I win?
They're powered down. He's willing to be taken aboard. Essentially, is what he's saying.
So he's willing. Okay.
Yeah.
And then
I surrender.
Good. We will have you beamed over to Parlay. Bring your XO or any other crew you wish in 2 minutes.
Number 1.
Yes, sir.
How about we just beam them all aboard to the brig and be done with it?
Oh, I'm gonna kind of look at him and just kind of say, "Is that within Federation?" I mean, really, I in character and out of character, I'm having the question of, this is me speaking out of character. Do we have the authority to take them prisoner?
attacks you.
Yeah.
I suppose we do. Yeah, we have a brig and stuff, don't we? And,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we do.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering if like
You're in Federation territory. Like not really. This is not Federation territory, but the Klingons and the Federation both jointly interact in it, and you would be well within Starfleet regulations to take these guys prisoners, since they just tried to attack you and an unarmed convoy. So and an allied ship. So.
Question: how many people? Sorry,
just in the background. I'm gonna send a text message down to Cole, just asking him how much does he want to dig into that freighter to get a look at its navigation systems and sensors to find out how exactly they are navigating these wild lands.
I respond that I am more interested in digging into whatever drive they're using to use these ionic eddies for travel.
Okay, so we're gonna move back to this scene real quick.
But yeah, I more asked like the question of can we take them prisoner, because if this is considered their territory too independently, I just was like kind of like I'm like
yeah, but the Orion Syndicate is criminal. Criminal. So
yeah,
like
they hold no official sway over.
Stuff. Yeah, the Orions. I don't even know if the Orions are even officially part of the Federation anymore. I don't know even if they have a homeland. So they were never part of the Federation, but I don't even know if they still exist.
What
really.
quadrant are they in?
They're beta.
Anyway,
Alpha and beta.
Okay, so yeah. With all that said, yeah, she's gonna obviously, of course, Captain. And then she's gonna tell them, be prepared to have your entire crew beamed over into our brig.
Incarceration.
For incarceration. Thank you. I couldn't think of the word. Incarceration.
Okay.
How many people crew that ship?
Yeah, how many people do crew that ship?
About 50.
That's doable.
It's very within your brig.
You can put a few of them in each cell.
Because each brig can hold like 4 or 5 individuals, and
yeah,
you have multiple brigs. I think there's like 3 or 4.
And then I'll tell security, and then of course I'll order security. I'll calm to the security, whatever other parts of security, and say that they need to be like essentially like several teams need to report like to each, like 1 or 2 teams need to be in each transporter bay, and I make them abreast of the situation that there's likely about 50 Orions that are going to come over. So there needs to be like a group, like pretty much the whole security team is on this.
They might be armed.
Security department.
Yes, they might be armed as well, because this could be their last chance to get out of this in some form of.
Yeah. So exactly. She'll make sure the security teams are prepared for that possibility.
Okay.
And check them. Do the whole thing, like search for every one of them.
In lore, there's 2 things to avoid this. Basically, force fields around the transporter pad, or you could actually have the transporters disable any handheld weapons they have on them.
Yeah, we'll do both. We'll do both of those.
Yeah,
so just making sure the security team is completely and utterly aware and prepared to do their jobs, essentially.
Yeah. The transporters are very much a magical MacGuffin. Yeah. They can disable weapons. They can take weapons away. They decontaminate everything that comes through it. They're like, you pretty much.
Yeah, we can beam them aboard without their weapons, right? Like,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you can beam them aboard naked if you wanted to.
No, I don't need anybody like falling in love with their junk.
I mean, they are Orions. There's a precedent.
Yeah,
and that is something I will warn the security crews. I'll actually tell the security crews, like, generally, like, be aware, you guys is like, that Orions are very seductive. Do not fall for their tricks. Do not desire their junk.
Oh my.
Leave your desires at the doorstep, security team. And
I also calm up to the bridge really quick. It's,
okay.
Captain, permission to dispatch repair crews to our escorts.
Very well.
All right. I ordered Jensen to gather up 2 groups. He'll stay on the ship, but I delegate the assignment of groups to him.
Okay. So are you going over to the ship you disabled, or?
No, the first thing I'm doing is sending a couple of people over to the freighters we were escorting to help them get their shields back up and make sure they're in shape to continue the journey once we figure that out.
Okay. So you transport them over. We'll come back to them here in a bit, but they're working. How about the rest of the crew? What do you guys want to do with? You've got a bunch of Orions in the brig. Not all Orions. There's some Orions, but there's a bunch of other. There's some Klingons, some humans, some
Syndicate members.
Yeah, there's Syndicate members of different types.
I want to go over to the Orion ship and start snooping around with their systems.
Yeah, once we have everyone aboard from their ship, that's when I want to take an engineering crew over and look into their stuff.
I'll help. I'll join in on that.
You guys want to request that from the captain?
Yep.
Yes, definitely.
So
request it.
Some minutes later.
Okay.
Oh, right. That means momentum gone. New scene.
Yes. New scene. Momentum's gone. Threat's gone.
Request granted.
I get back into uniform and get up to the bridge as well.
However, while you are aboard the Orion ship, I would like somebody to scan these eddies to see if we can store some information, glean some useful information from them as well, from the raw data.
I'll have one of my people on manning the servers all the times, but this is one of the reasons why I'm requesting to go over there to take a look at their sensor configurations to see if they are better equipped to dealing with these eddies.
Very well. Good thinking, Lieutenant. Dismissed.
All right.
So,
vámonos.
Let's go to the interrogation first. What do you want to say, Terzi?
I was going to request to be part of the interrogation team.
Of course.
Are we still red alert?
It's up to the captain. It was automatic when you guys dropped that warp. So.
Hey,
Right.
BRB for like 2 seconds. I gotta go get a paper towel.
Okay.
Step down to yellow alert.
Yellow alert.
Step it down.
We can't be too careful now. With these eddies, we have no idea if any more Orion may show up. So, I would like to take the Orion captain to an investigation room. I suppose we have one on board?
Yeah, you have some interrogation rooms. You have places you can go with, like, kind of more secluded. Are you just you, or you and Terzi and the XO?
I would like to take the XO with me. Terzi asked to come?
Yes. And
Yes.
The commander gave the approval.
Terzi, why
Captain.
do you want to join this investigation? What skills can you add to the XO's already ample tech skill set?
While I agree with you, the XO has an ample skill set at intimidation. Sometimes interrogation takes a softer hand.
Just a reminder, you're also psychic.
Yes.
That's what I was trying to ask him to say.
To be fair,
Well,
Captain,
so-
I am not
so-
very soft.
Out of character, what you would know about Halayan and that particular statement is that Halayans, their telepathy is mostly through touch. So, a softer hand, a touch.
Oh,
and
okay.
Right.
So he's trying to be a little bit more subtle about it. So
I see. All right.
correct.
Oh, so I'm the only one who's wireless.
yes.
Okay.
Halayans can be wireless with a stone. It's a little more complex than just
Oh, okay.
Like a focus.
stone,
And-
but
and-
they're-
and other
they
telepaths?
can be. Yes.
Very well, Lieutenant. You may join us. So I want
you.
Baj and I want Terzi with me in the investigation room, or in the interrogation room with the XO. I mean, with the captain of the other ship.
Good cop, bad cop, logical cop.
Indeed.
All right, so you guys make it down to the interrogation room with the captain. The captain is sitting there with his arms crossed, sitting back, leaning back a little bit. He looks relaxed. He looks very relaxed. He goes, I assume You're the captain of this vessel.
That is correct. I am Captain Secure of the USS Vasquez. And you?
I'm Captain None of Your Business.
Well, Captain, none of your business. As you have so asked, we have granted you your vacation aboard this ship, and we have a few questions that I am sure you're going to be more than happy to answer.
Sure. Go ahead.
So, I look to Baaj to kind of like motion her to like walk a bit closer to him, just saying, like make it. I imagine that being close to a Klingon is kind of like,
intimidating.
Exactly, just
Yeah.
in and of itself. And
Okay.
I go, yeah. How are you using these gravitational eddies?
Magic.
Sorry.
He's gonna be a sarcastic son of a bitch. So.
I know.
Shia LaBeouf magic.gif.
Yeah. Well, Captain Business, I would just like to remind you that should you cooperate, we could make your sentence aboard the prison brig of your choosing to be a lot smoother.
Okay, so you're trying to do a little bit of diplomacy, negotiation.
Yes. My focus is persuasion, negotiation, and diplomacy.
This is all in your focus. Give me
Yes.
a. What do you want to do with this one? Let's look at your. It's definitely gonna be presence.
Presence and
Go with presence and command. Yeah, presence and command. Because you're being like, hey, I got the strings I can pull to make sure that you're in the right place, man. If you work with me, so presence and command.
Yeah.
All right. I give him another.
He will
goal for
send
that.
you to a nice prison on Rigel.
Yeah.
so I should just roll and
Yeah. Well, it's up to you because it's going to be a difficulty task 3 because they're
Okay.
definitely there's definitely
Task
like
3.
yeah. So you can choose to spend momentum or you can try to get assist from somebody.
Okay. So I would like an assist from Baaj just because she's like, staring intently at him. I think that would probably also kind of add to the whole situation. Like, and I kind of also would like Terzi to be touching him as well. He can be like my human lie detector,
Okay.
Sure.
All right. So you guys both assist. So that's an assist from Baaj.
Grab his foot.
And that's my role there.
So do I need to roll an assist on
Yes.
that? Then?
Roll an assist as well for
Okay.
presence and command.
Presence
unless you
and
have-
command. Should I assume that I'm focused since I have both focus and talents in interrogation?
Uh huh. Oh yeah. 100%.
Okay.
It'd be task roll 1. Try that again.
Oh, sorry.
But with focus. Okay. Now I'm not familiar with the psychic rules. I'm sure there's some psychic rules in the game. There may be something else you have to roll if you're trying to read his mind.
I got it. You can sense the surface thoughts and emotions of most living beings nearby and can communicate telepathically with other empaths and telepaths, as well as those with whom you're extremely familiar. Surface thoughts are whatever a creature is thinking about at that precise moment. The character cannot choose not to sense the emotions or read the surface thoughts of those nearby, except for those who are resistant to telepathy. It will require effort and a task to pick out the emotions or thoughts of a specific individual in a crowd, to search a creature's mind for specific thoughts or memories, or to block out the minds of those nearby. Unwilling targets may resist with an opposed task.
Okay, so control with you. If you're going to try to read his mind, give me a control and security for that one.
Single or double task?
Double, because you're actually trying to do this at the same time. So like this is separate from that. Okay, yeah. And then he has a opposed.
Hold on one sec. When you succeeded it.
You succeeded. You succeeded critically.
Him dumb. Him no good
dumb.
at telepathy
Secrets.
prevention.
Mm-hmm.
So, when I succeeded a task to coerce someone to reveal information in a social conflict, gain 1 bonus momentum, which may only be spent on the obtain information momentum spend.
Okay. Do you want to try to do that as well? Because
Yes.
this is to you tapping into his thoughts. Now you have access to his thoughts, so you'd have to do that separately. So, well, let's go through what the captain.
Sure.
He responds to the captain. He goes, "Oh, well, I could use a fantastic vacation. Sure. What do you want to know?"
The eddies. How do you use them?
You don't control them. They're not actually eddies. As far as I can understand, they're like mini wormholes, rips in space-time. We're actually going through separate dimensions as we come back in out.
Are they stable? How did you know we were going to be here?
That's not something we know. The higher-ups are the ones who tell us where to go and how to do it.
And who are your higher-ups?
Syndicate.
Need I remind you, there is an easy and hard way to go about this situation right here.
I love the hard way.
I most assure you, she does.
He goes, listen, I can't give you more information than that. I don't even know who they are. If I told you more than that, I'd be dead. I don't care what prison you put me on. I don't care. I would be dead within minutes.
Lieutenant?
All right, give me your obtained information.
Would that be control?
I think obtained information is its own role, right? Under real quick. Oh, yeah. So, obtain information is actually you spend momentum, you get information. So.
Oh, okay.
So, if you want to spend momentum, I can give you exactly what he's thinking.
Okay. Yes.
Okay. Spend one momentum.
I'll be right back.
And how?
Because I told the lieutenant to do this as well. If he does fail, he can re-roll 1d20.
Okay, he doesn't actually have to roll anything because he's spending momentum for that.
Oh, okay.
So here's what you can gather based off, because you're psychic and because... So here's the thing. First off, the pirates are working... they're working to weaken the Klingon and Federation holdings in the sector. This was not just random. This was targeted. And they're one part of a larger organization operating in the Shackleton Expanse, which is the Orion Syndicate. But you also can tell that there is something in him, in his brain, that if he talks, if he tells the information, or if the information's pulled from him, it will kill him. It's a kill switch embedded into his brain. You're muted.
Okay.
There you go.
Do you relay this information to me?
No, I request we step outside.
Okay.
And then I relay that information. Because not knowing if saying it in front of him will kill him, I wouldn't want to say it in front of him.
Then perhaps the doctor should do something about it.
Most interesting. My thoughts go to maybe perhaps not even using surgery, but by perhaps some way using a transporter to remove the implant instead.
Ooh, that might be a complicated thing to do. Maybe medicine and engineering department work together on something like that.
That would be most favorable, and I think we might get the most fruitful answers from him afterwards. if we can get him to be a little bit more compliant.
As you're talking, as you're talking about this, you get a warning from inside. Inside the computer voice comes over and says, "Warning: prisoner is suffering cardiac arrest." It's like kind of like where medical alarms are blaring.
Sick bay, true security, double time, or whatever you humans say. I don't know.
Or just transport you all to sick bay.
No problem, Commander. I got a transporter, and so he transports the prisoner to the sick bay.
Wait, the captain? Sorry, the captain just got a heart attack.
Yes, was suffering a heart attack.
Oh man!
As you guys were talking.
But we were so careful.
You were, but remember, you captured him. It's been probably 20 minutes since you guys, and those fighters have escaped about 5 minutes into the battle.
Yeah, there's probably like a remote kill switch or something, even if you didn't talk. That's fair enough.
Transporter room, beam us to sick bay as well, please.
Okay. So, they beam you. I'm not going to do the roll because it's a little tedious for that one. You guys beam into the sick bay, and you see the doctor. The guy's like he's going to like spasming on the table. His mouth is foaming with foam, and the doctor is like it's like a hypospanner, or hypospray, cortical stimulator.
Doctor, he has something in his brain that is causing this, most likely.
I gotta stabilize him first, man. And then like the nurses and doctors are running around. He's trying to do his best to like stabilize him and everything.
Do I look like a man to you?
Whatever, Commander. I
can't spell commander without man.
Yeah, whatever, man.
So after minutes of him working on it, he just can't. It would have taken too long for him to be able to retrieve the device from the brain. It was too well lodged in there, and he says, "I'm sorry, Commander. I couldn't save him."
Perhaps we should deal with the others if something like this is similar to happen to them.
I wonder if all the crew have this same implant.
I would assume so. Perhaps maybe we have a medical team take a look at the lot of them.
I would assume at least the command crew would have it.
That is a good point. There must be some way we can at least deal with the implant without alerting them and getting them also killed, because we don't want to waste their lives for nothing, even if they are pirates.
I know Klingons are not the most delicate of species, but I must say that this is alarming and cruel. I would not even do something to a Targ like this.
Nagata, see if you can still excise the implant from within the dead captain's brain, and then hand it over to operations and engineering, and see if we can somehow still be able to... Basically, what I want is to be able to scan the thing, and so we can then use a transporter to beam it out of their heads.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's yes, Captain. I'm right on it, man. And then he starts signaling to like his nurses, and they start getting to work on that. But with this, we're going to cut over to our two aboard the away team aboard,
which have a security detail with them.
I'm assuming so. So it's a mess. That place is a mess. They kind of stopped repairing it as halfway through. The systems are down. The computers are still up though, but they're encrypted. So you're gonna have to give me a couple of engineering.
A roll for tricorder.
Yeah.
Wait, real quick. Away team. Be advised that there are some, as you humans say, suspicious things going on with these crew members, so be wary that there may be some sort of devices in place to self-destruct that ship if it is unattended for some time. That could or could not be the case. Keep vigilant, and there will be a transporter team ready and available to beam you over if should you think that you find yourself in any trouble.
The Orion mob might have booby-trapped their starship. Understood, Commander.
Yes. Barrage out!
All right, so go ahead.
XO, you should try not to be so violent with your comm badge. That is the 6th one this month.
We have replicators. Captain.
Comm badges aren't cheap. They have gold in them.
Klingon comm badges are much stronger. Perhaps the Federation could use some of that exchange of technology.
All right.
As you were.
Let's cut over to Cole and Aaron. So yeah, this place is sparks as like
rocks everywhere.
Places. Rocks everywhere. This is definitely a rock situation. There are mini rocks everywhere. So first off, Cole, what do you want? You're trying to figure out if how the ship uses the eddies for transit.
Yeah, the first thing I'm doing is going to their where their drive is and trying to see if there's anything special about that allows them to enter and traverse the eddies.
Okay, give me a control engineering check for that one.
Would my reverse engineering focus apply?
Yes, it would be activated.
Okay.
At the same time, I'm gonna try and check for the computers if a self-destruct countdown timer is maybe hidden.
All right, so
somewhere.
give me a reason security check for that one.
Alrighty. Control engineering.
Ooh, complication.
Yep.
Okay, so you're able to find the information in engineering, but it's corrupted. Someone hit the scramble button before they left, so it's going to take some time to piece it together. But you can definitely pull it out.
Absolutely doing that. Specifically, I get on my comms and like, engineering, prepare to receive a data burst. Make sure that this is transferred onto a secure system. I don't want anything that they might have hidden in their computer files getting into ours.
Understood. And for you and Aaron, there is no countdown. They did not set a self-destruct. They turned off the ship. This ship looks like, just looking through the self-destruct, they'd have to have their warp core powered up and then overload the warp core. That's how they self-destruct the ship. So.
Right. So for my next for my talent portion, I'm going to go check out their sensors suite and see what's that all about.
Okay, so that's going to be Insight Science.
That's probably my best roll, and I don't have a focus I could use. All right.
We could double check that. No, you wouldn't. No, you would have quantum mechanics, but
right. Reroll, or it's 2 successes anyway. So
it's 2 successes anyways. Even if you did, because you'd have to be under 4, I believe, or 5, and you didn't hit that anyways, so you're fine. So you're able to pull it out. You're looking for sensors for inside the eddies, essentially.
For the eddies, yeah. Or for the entire section of space, just to track the eddies.
You're trying to track the eddies. You also said you wanted to try to counter the sensor interference. Is that what you're trying to do as well?
Yeah. Basically, just figure out what they're using to not be all fucked up in this entire region.
Okay, so you can get one or the other. You can with this roll, you can either get the not fucked up sensors, or the more information about the sensors themselves. Or
not fucked up sensors. Yeah. So we have an easier
this essentially mechanically, what you find out the data will reduce the difficulty for scanning sensors in any of these eddies down to 1. So normally the Expanse has a effect 2 difficulty. So anything that was normal is going to be 2 additional, and your improved sensors drop that by 1. Now with this information, you can drop that down by an additional 1. So and it's now back to 2. It's just a normal scanners because you can kind of counteract the radiation.
Sweet.
All right. If you want to look again for that other ones, you can, but it's another Insight Science roll. And that would be
if Since I'm here, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Another insight and science.
But with a focus, because you have quantum
With a
mechanics.
focus. Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're
Doing my
able to
job.
pull out. You think you can track the eddies a little bit better. So you think with this information, you think you can determine which ones are the natural, and which are the artificial ones, and you can also determine not necessarily how to make one of these, but you can determine how to separate the differences between the two, because you're finding sensor logs of like how this ship traveled through these eddies and out. It involves shield modulation and involves very specific coordinates, but that are given to the ship before they leave. So whoever is in charge of this is giving the ship coordinates to go to. That doesn't look like the ship itself is plotting courses. It's just running a pre-programmed.
Following a pre-programmed course. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm also in their engineering area, even though things are kind of sparky, looking for specific hardware that might have been added to this ship.
Okay, give me a insight engineering for that one.
Alrighty. Focus yay or nay with reverse engineering. That's the only
Focus,
one I have
yes.
that might apply.
Yeah.
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 Okay. You find a couple of weird little black boxes that seem to be attached to their shield generators, which seem to have some sort of effect with frequency modulation. That's definitely not supposed to be there. The whole ship has been jerry-rigged. The whole thing has been like pieced together by different parts over years of retrofit. This is like 100-year-old freighter. We're talking like, in terms of Star Trek times, this is the original series freighter in terms of its age. It's really old, but it's so these systems seem brand new compared to the rest of the systems on the ship.
All right, I will be looking into safely removing one for further study.
Okay, give me a control engineering to remove that.
Okay.
You don't explode with a difficulty 3 because these things are
Do we have
harder to
any
remove.
momentum right now?
Nope. Yes, you did, because you guys during the interrogation, you guys did have momentum.
Yeah, but we're on a different ship.
it's the same scene.
Okay.
Yeah, sure, but didn't we say that, or are we just simplifying it?
I'm simplifying it so it says scenes.
Okay.
So
All right.
Okay, so how much do we have currently?
1, I think.
1. I am spending it.
Okay.
So you say that it's an original series ship.
Mm-hmm.
So like next to ours, I'm like, if this was like an actual episode, I'm like thinking of ours like next to it, and then ours looks like a one from like a normal episode, but theirs is like really blocky and has a string attached. You can kind of see it. Like...
Yeah. Kind of wobbling it.
Here it goes.
Okay. So you're very carefully trying to remove it, and as you try to remove it, it's just this as it just kind of like explodes in your face. It doesn't do any hurt for you, just like like a surprise, but it fries itself.
So I'm allergic to that, so I'm gonna go and join with the noise. With the noise, I'm alerted by it.
No,
And
literally when it happens, I hit my comm badge. Like after my eyes clear from the spark, I'm like, "Hey, doll, could you come down to engineering? I might need your help getting a piece out of here so that we can take it back to the ship for further study."
yeah, already on my way.
Okay.
Right.
So you can try the other box. This is the only other box, but you're gonna try to
And
assist
I
him?
have a focus in jitter rigging as well, so I'm guessing that applies to me as
That
well.
would apply to
And-
you.
Yeah.
So
and
you
I
guys
will
can both-
assist, so one roll.
You have no
I don't
more,
have any momentum here,
so you have to just straight roll.
Yeah.
Yep. Control engineering with focus. Oh,
Okay.
hey.
Hey.
Let's see. Hey.
Now
we
you
got
have
momentum.
2 momentum. Or 1 momentum. Yeah, one momentum.
One momentum.
One
yeah.
momentum. Yeah, this was difficulty 3.
So with very carefully as this next box, you kind of like learning from your mistakes, and with Anaran helping you out, you're able to take off the little box, as have a little box for further study.
Like halfway through, I'm like, no, not again. Avoid that capacitor.
Fool me once, shame on you. Yeah.
He reaches in to help, but I'm also like, don't bridge those contacts. Good. Yes.
Yes, the engineer is from Dick Tracy novels is what it is. So holo novels.
Yep.
He's never been to Earth, but he loves the holodeck.
Yeah.
When I was growing up, my mom and dad, when they were both on shift, they'd leave me in the holodeck with the Dick Tracy holo novels, and I just fell in love with the accent. and also the man.
Pretty sad you were raised by holograms.
So you have everything.
Don't be mad at me.
You have everything you think you need from the ship. I'm going to cut back to the captain. You're going to get a hail from the bridge. Captain, the Captain Akul is on the line for you.
On screen.
Well, you're still down with the in the sick bay.
We don't have screens down there.
Oh, okay.
You can reroute it to a screen down there if you want.
Very well. Patch him through.
So one of the screens in sick bay pops up. You see a Captain Akul. He goes, Captain, we're running behind on schedule. We need to get these freighters to where they're needed.
Understood, Captain. We're on our way.
And frankly, I'd rather not stick around while wait for these Orion Patachs to return.
Patachs.
I share the same sentiment. Give us half an hour and we'll be ready to go. We just need to make a few more tests before we go. It should benefit both the Klingon and the Federation greatly.
Understood.
Secure out.
Hey, he got to hang up. he got to do the hang up.
You hung up first. You showed them that you are not the Patach.
Right, at this point, Cole and I beam back to the ship.
Okay.
All right. So
apparently we're done.
Are you guys done now?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're all back on the bridge, I guess.
Yeah, you guys all return back to the bridge.
Okay.
Back to the bridge.
Step down to cruise mode.
Okay.
I like it when the light is purple. But I like the red too. Red's my favorite.
The purple was actually in TOS was used a lot as a hair light. So
Yeah.
you can imagine it like the ceilings had like purple lighting all everywhere.
Okay. Let's resume our original course. Plug course to Array 3-5 and engage when ready.
Ready when you are, Captain.
Engage.
All right, we'll take off another power from the warp core because you guys are from the power from the one power less because you guys are engaging warp. So you guys engage warp. I'm guessing you guys are going, cruise speed, which I think for the ship is 6. So warp 6.
We'll be limited to whatever the cruise speed of the ships we're escorting is, because they probably are not as good as us.
Probably warp 5 would be my guess for them. So, they're pretty basic. So, warp 5. After a couple more, like a day or so, after you guys start, the doctor comes back to you, Captain, in your ready room, and says, Captain, I got the scans on the guys we have down in the hold. None of them have the stuff in their head like the captain did. No, be fair though, when I heard him talking and some of the security guys talking about, these guys seemed like they're mercenaries, man. Less syndicate members. They all talked about how they can get paid, sign on for this kind of stuff and those kind of discussions.
Very well. I feared as much. However, should we find another Orion officer, we now have the specifications for their implant. So, your efforts haven't been in vain. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Captain.
Nagata.
And he
Dismissed.
walks out.
Kapla.
So the rest of the trip is pretty. Go ahead.
Before we go too far, can We have engineering load that pattern into the transporters to be scanned for when beaming.
Which pattern?
Oh yeah,
The pattern of the device in dude's head.
Oh,
Yeah.
so you can use, so it'll be immediately.
So that we
transported
would
out.
at least be alerted when one is beamed aboard.
Okay.
and maybe even scrub it.
So they can be at least put into transporter stasis, which is also another MacGuffin the transporter has.
Yes. Transporters are the MacGuffin the magic MacGuffin that does everything.
I do not know what the MacGuffin means.
But
Humans say weird things.
based off of your
My name should have been Daxon MacGuffin.
I like muffins. Okay.
That's your nickname.
No. No. No.
MacGuffin. So Daxon, Cole, Lieutenant Commander Cole, you think you might be able to get the transporter, or not? You think? Who's your transporter expert? I can't remember if it's Jensen or Weathers. I gotta look it up real quick. They actually gave one of them transport skills.
Yeah, my deal is warp field dynamics.
It's Jensen, Chief Petty Officer Jensen. Jensen thinks that he can, if with your help, he thinks he can get it so that the transporters will recognize these devices when they get transported over, and actually beam them out, kind of remove them without incident, similar to like weapons or anything else you want to kind of deal with. But he needs your help with it though. And your command codes. All right.
I'll take your word on this one, Wait, was it Jensen or Weathers?
Jensen.
Jensen. I'll take your word on this one, Jensen. You tell me where to. You point the wrench, and I'll hammer away.
So go ahead and give me an assist roll for that.
And this, aside to the action going on, and I kind of look over. I look over at the lieutenant, and I just kind of say, I think Jensen and Weathers are like together.
So no joke. I actually haven't put this out there, but Cole is actually bi.
Okay.
Nice.
Like
there we go.
That's canonical to the character. I was gonna have a future thing where I was gonna introduce, like, he was gonna be in the holodeck, and it was gonna be the standard Dick Tracy thing, except it was gonna be like a
Nobody cares. No, I'm
Yes.
kidding.
All right. So with
Abs that don't end. Yeah.
with that, Jensen's able to install that kind of modification to the transporter so that they will beam out the device if they sense it in the future. So, other than that, you guys are able. It's pretty uneventful on the rest of the day or so journey to the relay. And when you arrive at the relay, how can I kind of go into to narrator mode for this one? You guys arrive at the relay. And the freighter captains all are reporting. They come into the bridge and thank you personally, Captain Secure, and they thank Captain Cool for your swift action in dealing with these pirates. And when you guys arrive, it's pretty obvious that there isn't much space in this relay. There's only about a dozen or so Klingons and humans that live in this array. It's like kind of a very small space station, and they only have a docking port, an airlock, and 2 transport pads. But there's not a lot of room inside this outpost. But they do invite you, Captain, and your commanding officer over to thank you for your efforts in They invite all the captains of the freighters and Captain Akul and his first officer over to thank them if you wish to attend.
I suppose.
So
that wasn't very Vulcan of me. Sorry. Anyway.
So you and the commander beam over. It's very small, and you see like members from the freighter crews are kind of coming in through EVA suits with like small boxes. You coming through the airlocks and putting it down. You see, if you look through the windows, you can see the cargo pods on the side of these freighters are being detached and being moved over by like worker bees and some of the other freighter crews like bring over to like hard seal against the airlock, and then you see some more people come running in and pulling out the cargo back and forth, and people are beaming in and out of the two-way transporter. It's getting pretty busy as they're trying to move a lot of supplies. This place does not have any space, does not have a cargo bay, so you see boxes stacked on the hallways everywhere, food, medical supplies, scientific equipment, just all over the place.
It's a nice view from 7 Forward where I'm drinking alone.
Yeah.
Right now.
I made sure to bring 2 bottles of the blood wine from our Andorian bartender.
Yes.
For the Klingons to share in.
I've switched to ale. Speaking of,
Patak.
The captains of the freighters, Captain Akul and his first officer, and the scientists are all sitting. And you guys, of course, are being invited to sit at it's kind of like a simple mess. It's there's enough space for all of you to sit, but it's kind of tight quarters. And one of the freighter crews turns to you, Captain, to you, Baj, and says, "Commander, we heard your transmissions over to the pirates when they attacked us. You were quite the fearsome warrior. What causes? What's the reason why you're?" He points to like the uniforms. Like, not seen a Klingon uniform. I've heard of one, but never seen one.
Wait, what's he asking me?
He's asking you why you're in Federation uniform.
You can't just ask someone why they're dressed like that.
No. She just says, Gowron.
And Akul says, Gowron? Gowron's the reason why I have this command. What did you do to Gowron?
I refused a marriage proposal.
That is a dishonorable task. I wouldn't want to.
He only wanted me because I am the daughter of a Dehar master. I mean, her sash makes it pretty obvious.
Yeah.
If they're Klingon.
They are Klingon. The two that are on, and some of the other scientists on there kind of like nod and go, oof. And Akul goes, Gowron proposed to you?
Yes. Sorry, I actually have to look at my bio to
Gowron likes them gangsta titties.
I actually had a whole story that backs this up, so let me give me 1 second, guys.
I want to give you a little bit of roleplay sense so we can kind of get a little understanding what's going on. So.
Sorry. Blah 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 blah. It was in the later part of the Klingon Civil War. I was serving aboard an IKS ship, or no, wait, Deep Space. Pardon me, the Deep Space one that Klingons have. They're just for everybody's lore-rificness, out of character real quick. There's 2 sectors of the Klingon Defense Force. There's the internal security, and then there's Deep Space.
Those like DK.
DKS and IKS.
IKS, yeah. Imperial Klingon and
no, internal security. It's literally just internal.
Okay.
Yeah, it's internal security, and then there's one that's more about like deep space, like going in and exploring and stuff, and finding new systems. I was on a deep space mission, returning back to Quonos at long last, when my ship had been brought in my ship. I don't have the name of her ship, sorry.
Yeah.
The ship I was aboard happened to come out of warp near Quonos at the wrong time in the wrong place. And it was Gowron and Duras's forces. Or not Duras. What's the third?
Who's Duras? The House of Duras.
The House of Duras and House of Gowron were about to start a fight, and Duras, the House of Duras, hailed us to ask us whose side we were on in this fight. Again, we were just happening upon them on our way home to Quonos. And given that I had once served with Gowron aboard the ship, I had advised my captain, and I was aware of the political situation, that Gowron was likely the better bet, and the more rightful person to bet on. But then, we were attacked immediately by Duras's forces when I said this. I was the only survivor. Gowron had me beamed over before the ship was destroyed. I served aboard his ship for some time after that. I was not regarded well, but not exactly alienated either. It was a bit of a mix. And then, after some time, as he finally won his civil war, sorry, it's hard. It's like just summarizing the story.
Exposition. Yeah.
I know. But it was at that point. By then, he had also known who I was and how much political leaning my houses that I originate from had. I was, as the humans would call it, a very eligible bachelorette. Thus,
You see some
Gowron
other humans
proposed
when you say that.
marriage to both.
So you see some humans who you say that, you go, oh, yeah, I get that. I understand that reference.
And by that point, Gowron proposed marriage to both benefit him in having a wife who was from a descendant of two very notable great houses, and for me, in some form, for me to regain some of the honor I had lost from being the only survivor aboard my previous vessel. However, I refused him. I'm not one who wishes to declare honor with marriage. My mother is of the house Mektor, and she has...
But before you even say anything about Mektor, he knows who Mektor is and goes, enough, I've heard of this. I heard of you before. It's good to meet the woman who declines Gowron's honor. He's a friend, but he is a dick. He is
kind of a dick.
He's kind of a dick.
He's a fool.
he is a bit. He is a fool.
Gowron initially, when he started his chancellorship, had the right idea. He had the right things in place. However, that experience made me realize he was more opportunistic than it is for his own good. So, I'm glad with what is going on now on Quonos that I refused him.
He kind of nods, and Akul goes, Gowron is the only reason I have this command. During the Civil War, no one would take my blade. But Gowron saw the desire, saw the burning heart of a warrior in me. And so he took me on board, made me who I was, and now I command a ship. He even let me be on the expanse, the edge of space, to go to seek out my own desires for exploration. I know it is not normal for Klingons to wish to explore, but I am with scientists who believe in the same me, and the other Klingons kind of nod a little bit.
I must admit, my time with the Federation has made me appreciate their curiosity. I used to think that humans were too curious for their own good. However, I understand now that I have been among them more often, why they are so. It is probably what makes them strongest.
And he kind of smirks and goes, besides, how else are we going to find new enemies to fight and kill, eh?
This is true! This is true! The humans bring us the best fights.
And then he turns to you, Sakir, and goes, Captain Sakir, how is it that you end up with a Klingon first officer? That is... I know it is...
Good story!
It is...
let him tell you. This is a good story.
It is... I heard it's custom for you to choose your own first officer. Why would you choose a Klingon?
That is indeed a long story. However, to cut it short, I met my first officer many months ago now, and to put it briefly, as a Vulcan, I tend to see things in a very logical sense, in a logical manner.
This is true. He is very, very logical.
Calm, collected, and with control. I have recognized the skills of Baj here, and thanks to Gowron, I was able to request her to serve aboard my ship.
But Gowron is bad.
You Klingons do tend to see things more with your open hearts, and as I don't necessarily have... This is very tough, sorry.
Yeah, it's okay.
His heart, like, Klingon heart, let me explain to you.
Let me explain to you.
Klingon hearts are like...
Let me explain.
Waves crashing into cliffs. But Vulcan hearts are like placid, even water. No waves.
So you see the value in the Klingon heart, even through the logic of your mind.
Yes.
I see.
Over time, that water shapes those cliffs.
It is only logical to cover your bases and know where you lack. And I do believe that my XO covers those bases better than any other serving member of the Federation. And of course, that's the reason why she is where she is with me.
Excellent,
yes,
excellent.
We make a good team.
I would rather not go on.
They say the rest of the dinner goes on pretty normal, but I wanted to give a little bit of time for you guys to have a little discussion amongst these crews.
Wait a minute, how did we meet? Oh, geez.
We'll talk about that after the session, but
she'll just kind of sum it up by saying, I save him. I saved him long ago. We were on another ship. He was the XO. I was security lead. And what happened was the captain could not handle what was going on, and he did not do well. And then this captain, with the XO at the time, he was on a away mission, and he was not doing well. And I just happened to be next to command, and the humans learned that the humans ended up learning what the phrase "today is a good day to die." I'm sorry, this is turning French. I realize
just all over the place.
We merely did what was necessary for the sake of the Federation and Klingon Alliance.
Today is a good day to die.
Yes. It's Centauri. Centauri as a Klingon.
You keep
People
saying that
watching
phrase.
this later are gonna be like,
Do not
what
think it
is
means
going
what you
on?
think it means.
You add how do you say patak?
With that, we'll bring the scenes to the end, and the episode 1 is done. We'll bring it to an end. We've been doing it for almost 4 hours. So it's just we'll cut out some stuff and that kind of stuff, but
oh my,
a little long.
4 hours, jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They fell prey to one of the classic blunders. Never go.